All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? Hour one of Jon and Jim. For a third consecutive day, we will give away Aztec tickets for Saturday. Paul Garrison, East Village Times, will join us coming up in about 90 minutes. We will get you ready for game three. Padres and Cardinals, everything is going beautifully. Padres have won 2 straight games on the road trip. They've pulled to within 3 games of first place in the NL West. But we can't always have nice things because of what happened last night. The controversy that has been heard throughout the wrap-up show. So, Brent, you missed this. So last night, we're doing a show. Padres win. Everything's great. Everything is great. They win. Everything is great. Everything is great.
It was great.
Mm-hmm. We're an hour into the show, and someone with like a comment said, hey, what do you do with Tatis? What do you do with the lineup when Tatis returns? We start theorizing, you drop this guy down. And all of a sudden, Jim throws out, and he wasn't like, you have to do this. It's like, hey, what about this? And then he says, you slide Profar down to 7th because you're moving guys down. You would have thought that he proposed starting a war with the nation unprovoked.
Like,
people lost their mind. It ended up going another 40 minutes. People are still like, I can't believe that Jim said that. Like, I like Jim, but the fact that he said that, I think he went too far. So what do you have to say now? 24
what did they
hours
think
later,
they should do?
24 hours later, yeah. I mean, what do you do when Tatis returns? Do you have any different feelings now that you've had a chance to think about it? What do you do with Jerks and Profar when Fernando Tatis Jr. returns?
I mean, look, it's a valid conversation to have. The Padres are winning a lot of baseball games right now. Tatis is on his way back. He is scheduled to make a rehab start here fairly soon.
Yeah, definitely.
He could return as early as next week from reports. And so how is this lineup going to look?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just going through the lineup.
Yeah.
Luis Ariz is going to be your leadoff hitter.
Yes.
Okay. Tatis is probably going to slot in somewhere close to the top of the lineup.
I like 2-hole.
I would say a 2-hole is good.
I like 2-hole.
He's not going to hit cleanup. I don't think he's hitting third. I think he's going to hit second.
Okay.
I think it's going to go Ariz, Tatis. And then third, Jake Cronenworth has been hitting there almost all year long. He's had 81 games batting in the 3 spot this year. Has he been struggling of late? Yeah, he has.
Not last night, but yes.
No, last night he had the game-winning RBI, or helped the Padres get over the hump, and then they added another run there later on. But without Jake Cronenworth last night, they probably don't win that game. So Jake Cronenworth hitting third. Manny Machado hitting fourth, like he has most of the season. Other than the couple times that he got when he was really struggling.
He was dropped,
and he was dropped down to the 5th spot. And then Xander, who has been red hot since he's come back, slot him into the 5 spot. Now you're like, okay, where do you go now? And I said, hey, Jackson Merrill, hit him 6th. So then that brought me to, well, I guess Jerks and Profar's hitting 7th. And everyone lost their
how
mind.
could you say that?
Everyone's like, are you kidding me? You
How
moron.
dare you
You're an
say
idiot.
that? You're
You don't
out of
know
the
baseball.
will.
I hate you. Seriously, stop talking about the Padres. Leave San Diego. Never show your face again.
By the way, real quick, and I don't want to say this bluntly. And by the way, you're not dying on the hill. You're not like, he will bat 7th in the postseason. Trust me, if I'm wrong, I'll leave the city.
I'm really not.
But I would say this. He's not batting 7th in the postseason, and let me tell you why. I mean, he's batting 2nd today. And by and large, he's hit in the top of the order because he's hit for this team. He's been their most effective hitter, you could argue, all season long. The truth is you have a number of options to bat him well in front of 7. You really do. I mean, you could hit him 6th, for example, in that hypothetical. You could hit him 3rd and move Cronenworth to 6th. I think you could do that. I mean, Jake Cronenworth has really struggled to hit for the better part of the last 30 or 40 games. I just think at the end of the day, it's a good problem. This is what happens when your team has the best run in the history of the franchise. They've never been better than 26-8 over 34 games. And now we argue about stupid things, which is fun. I think at the end of the day, Jim, I don't think they'll hit him 7th, but someone will hit 7th in this very good lineup when Fernando Tatis Jr. returns, which is hopefully sooner rather than later.
Some of these comments on our YouTube channel.
People are like mad.
I mean, like, I really like you, Jim, but you're an idiot.
Too far.
This went a little too far here. Now, someone did have a legitimate case for why Profar should bat 7th.
Okay.
Which it's interesting. Profar would be a great in the 7th spot with the heart of the lineup possibly being on base, like a secondary cleanup man. If you think of it that way.
2 guys on, like 4 and 5 are on base for 7.
Because the one thing that Xander Bogaerts has done consistently since he's returned from the IL is all he does is just get on base. He might be more or less a singles hitter now, not a lot of power, but he's getting on base at a fairly high clip.
Absolutely.
So if you do have guys on in front of Profar, that wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. And we know that Luis Arraez never walks. I mean, it's like the worst thing that has ever happened to this franchise is not seeing Luis Arraez walk at all. I mean,
big problem.
Big problem for this team, even though they keep winning. We're kidding.
That's why it's such a big issue. They keep winning. Can you imagine if they won the World Series, but Arraez didn't walk in the entire World Series?
We're kidding, and we're 100% joking here. But it's not something that I'm like set in stone. It was just a suggestion, everybody.
We just threw it out. I mean, people asked. Here's what I would say. Like, the more I've thought about it, like, it was hard for me to sleep last night because I was thinking about you just tossing and turning. Did you sleep?
I didn't sleep that much.
Because you were thinking about this?
I think I might have had a dream about it.
Did you really?
Like, I think I woke up with like the sweats in the middle of the night. I'm like,
oh my God, was that real? What I said?
Hitting 7th, I'm an idiot.
I mean, what's the problem with, and again, what do you guys think? 70470 start it with team, or 877-767-4760? Like, what do you do with Profar when Tatis comes back? What do you do with Tatis when Tatis comes back? 877-767-4760 or 70470 start it with team. What about just move Cronenworth down? Like, is anyone really going to be hell-bent on keeping Jake Cronenworth in the 3-hole? You're right. He's batted third most of the year. 80 of the 130 games, he's hit third. But he hasn't, he's kind of cooled off as the season's gone on. His numbers aren't overly impressive at this point in the year. What about just moving him to like the 6-hole and keep Profar in the 3-hole behind Tatis?
Here's the question of the day. When Tatis gets back, what does your lineup look like? What should the Padres lineup look like when Fernando Tatis Jr. gets back?
Yeah.
70470, start your message with team, or 877-767-4760.
The problem with asking about the lineup is like, it's 9 guys.
It's 9 guys, but still, I think for whatever reason, and we found this out the other night, dude, lineup construction gets people going.
And I said last night too, like, have we ever said after a Padres game, either on Jon and Jim or the wrap-up show or anywhere you've heard us talk about the Padres so obsessively over the years, have you ever heard us like talk about a game afterwards and be like, you know what,
that lineup,
if they would have hit Manny third, not fourth, I think they win that series against the Phillies. Because when we break down what happened in a game, you know what we do? We say, you could have pinch hit there. Why didn't they double switch back in the day? Now it's universal DH. Why did they go to the bullpen there? Why didn't you stick with Cease longer? We do that, but we're never like, you know what? I think hitting Higgy 8th, not 7th, cost them the game. That's very rarely said in the way you dissect a baseball game, and that's why I'll stick by what we said 5 minutes ago. I think it's a good problem.
It's a very good problem.
If the Padres lose in the postseason, I'm not going to be like, it was because of their lineup. Construction. It might be because their lineup doesn't hit.
The only criticism of the lineup that would be coming from me is if they just didn't play guys and they didn't put them in the lineup.
Definitely. I agree with
then
that.
I'd be like, why isn't this guy in the lineup?
Absolutely.
But where they hit and where they bat in the lineup is, I mean, there's a method to the madness for sure, right? And they're not just putting guys to put guys in spots because it's whatever. They're picking names out of hats. Like, they do it for a reason. But all in all, I mean, and unless Manny they hit in 9th, then I don't really have much of a problem with where their lineup is at, truthfully. And when Tatis gets back, he will be hitting towards the top of this lineup. That's where he's hit for his entire career. The great thing about Jurickson Profar and why the other night is why I just mentioned it 7th is because he's been so good this year at hitting anywhere he's put in this lineup.
Yeah, leadoff spot.
Second, third,
hitter, but he's
fourth.
been good.
Like, he has produced everywhere he's been in this lineup. So he's really the one guy, once Tatis gets back, I'm not worried about where he hits. Like, I truly am not. Manny and Bogey, I'm a little worried because we know that there's been a little history there of Bogey kind of being like, I prefer to hit here, whatever. You're not moving Manny out of the cleanup spot, especially not right now with the way he's playing. If you want to hit him third, Profar, then sure. But the thing is, Cronenworth's been hitting it third most of the entire season when there's a righty on the mound.
But is that reason enough to hit him third? Now, they're winning games. That's reason enough.
Yeah.
But because he's hit third, is that why he stays in the 3-hole? Now, I would say no if the team needed a pick-me-up. If the team wasn't playing well and he was just hitting third, I'd be like, move this guy. Like, that's not a reason enough. But we have stuck to the adage of, like, whatever they're doing right now is working collectively. And I don't like messing with something that's collectively working. For example, Jackson Merrill's hit towards the bottom of the order all year long, and it's worked. And they haven't tinkered with it, and everyone's okay with that. So because of that, I like Merrill batting in the second half of the lineup because he's had success in the second half of the lineup. So yeah, he's hit third and they've won a lot of games, and that is reason to keep him third. But I think at the end of the day, push comes to shove stuff. I know it's all cliche. I think I would move Jake Cronenworth down. There's no question I would move Jake Cronenworth down against a left-handed pitcher. If you're facing a left-handed pitcher in the postseason, there is no question in my mind they would move him down and probably bat him seventh, truthfully, if it's against a left-handed starter. But even against a righty, I don't think I have an issue with Profar batting third, Cronenworth batting sixth in that hypothetical.
I'm with you there. I think up and down this lineup, you got guys that can produce anywhere.
Yep.
And truthfully, with where Jackson's been this whole season, with what Higgy's done in the bottom of the lineup, I mean, Ha-Seong Kim's hitting ninth. It's a pretty damn good lineup. It's like whatever construction they do with the lineup, to me, it feels like it's going to work out in their favor because it has majority of the season. And the constant, I guess, thinking about like, where should Tatis, how's the team going to look when Tatis returns? Well, I am firmly of the belief that once he returns, there's no way to think other than this team should be better.
The funny part about that, though, isn't he set up a little bit to fail? And let me explain. When Tatis comes back, they're not playing better than this. They're 26-8 in their last 34 games. Now, I say that. Maybe they go on and win the World Series, and Tatis is part of that. That's better than this if they win the World Series. But, like, he's somewhat set up to not live up to expectations. You're asking a lot of a guy that's going to miss 2+ months, right? I told Kyle Glazer yesterday, should we expect him to be an 850+ OPS guy? He's like, no, I think that's actually asking too much. So, everyone's going to think he's going to hit 5 home runs in 10 games when he comes back. And the other thing people are going to expect is now that Tatis is back, they're going to play even better baseball. But is that realistic and is that fair? Are they really going to play better baseball when Fernando Tatis Jr. returns? Or will it actually further the narrative of, you know what? Tatis isn't a winner. They don't win at a high clip when he's in there. In his career, they're a 500 team. When Fernando Tatis Jr. plays, they're a 500 team since he entered the big leagues in 2019. I don't think that's on Tatis. I truly don't. But again, I don't know how you're going to play better than this when he comes back.
This is, it feels like deja vu all over again. 2022, we were all waiting for Tatis's return, and it never happened. Now they made the NLCS, and that was great. But you have that in the back of your mind, like, what was the ceiling potentially with that team if Tatis returned?
Sure.
Like, what could have happened? Could he made a difference? Like, I think he could have. Could they have gotten over the Phillies hump there and gone to the World Series? Maybe. We'll just never know.
Right.
But now, just 2 years later, we get the same scenario almost playing out before our eyes. Tatis has been injured. The team is playing well. They're playing much better than they were down the stretch at this point in the time in the season than 2022. But same thinking applies. They're going to the postseason. They're a really good baseball team. Tatis is on his way back. How is this team going to look? Where's the ceiling? How much is he going to help? How much of a difference he's going to make? I think that's a really exciting thing to think about because it's like a do-over. Like this team didn't get to, do that in 2022 or have that luxury of having Tatis get back done a stretch run. This team does. So that's exciting for me.
Yeah, I know. I agree with that. And by the way, there's a ton of people weighing in on the text line with their ideal Padres lineup with the return of Fernando Tatis Jr. You can weigh in as well. We'll get to those during the show. 70470. Start your message with the word team. Again, 70470. Start it with the word team. We have tons of giveaways today, including San Diego State tickets for Saturday. We'll give those away coming up in the 4 o'clock hour. On the other side, all this discussion about the Padres bullpen, you'll hear it from MLB Network's perspective as we get you ready for Padres and Cardinals game 3 of a series. Stay with us on Jon and Jim. All right, we apologize if we've had any radio issues, like issues hearing us on the radio, maybe during the first 15 minutes or so of the show. We believe we're back on the radio. Text us if we are or aren't. 70470 started with team. We are on YouTube here today as well, where the sound is working properly. Of course, you can listen to us as well for free iHeart Radio app. Search for San Diego Sports 760. We have a million giveaways today. That might be an exaggeration, but I think we have 5 different giveaways today, including San Diego State football tickets, San Diego State, Texas A&M Commerce tickets for Saturday. We'll give those away coming up in the 4 o'clock hour. So if you've got a lineup idea when Tatis returns, you can text us 70470. Start it with the word team. Now, Padres keep winning, and people keep talking about the strength of this team. They have so many strengths. One of them is also their bullpen. So MLB Network was discussing this earlier today, I think on MLB Central. Let's take a listen to earlier.
Padres won again in St. Louis again. Dylan Cease was really grinding. It was a hot, muggy, sweltering night in St. Louis, but that bullpen came through, and the Padres get another win. So the question to you, Dan, I'm going to go to you first. Do the Padres have the most October-ready bullpen in the game right now? I'm talking Adams, Scott, Estrada.
Yeah, I mean,
Suarez.
I think Cleveland's bullpen is right up there with them. But yeah, I mean, in the National League, I mean, AJ's put a bullpen together from the 6th inning on. Literally, it matches up perfectly. So they're a tough out, guys. When they get in October, they're going to be a tough out because they're winning games now by not pretty ball baseball, which is what they were up the last couple of years. They're winning games like big boy baseball. They're grinding wins now.
Yeah.
Tough hits, quality at bats, et cetera, et cetera.
Watching them last night, I mean, they got the lead. That game was back and forth. They got the lead. They brought Jason Adam in. He punched out 2. Estrada was good. Tanner Scott. Listen, I know people around the league don't follow it as much as we do. When you hear the name Tanner Scott and he's on the Marlins and everyone wants him and no one really has really laid eyeballs on him, when you get a chance to see him throw for the San Diego Padres, I mean, it's wipeout stuff. And then you add in Suarez on the back end. Yes, I'm taking this bullpen to lead me through the postseason over anybody.
They legitimately have a chance to win a World Series this year.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Machado's just getting healthy now, too, and
Yeah.
he's an aircraft carrier.
I mean,
So,
everyone's hopping on that bandwagon, which I think is a fair take. 26-8.
so Market Street, right? That's where it goes. That's where the parade goes.
Market. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think you're probably
market.
turning it Naughty Bear. I think you got to make it turn at
Like,
9th
Probably
because you can't go up. You're not going up 10th.
right. So when we broadcast from Naughty Barrel, November 3rd, maybe.
They'll have wrapped it up before then.
Okay.
This will be a short
So
series.
October
Yeah,
27th.
this will be a short series.
Yeah.
No,
think
I
so.
mean, but is it a fair take to be like, hey, are they as good of a team as there is in the National League right now? Well, yeah, obviously. 26-8. They've built this bullpen. Manny Machado is scorching hot. They have, Dylan Cease, who hasn't been great, but they have Dylan Cease. They're getting Darvish and Musgrove. They have Musgrove. I mean, yeah, it's a very fair, legitimate take. I feel like it's tough to discuss in San Diego, honestly. Like, I don't love the idea of coming on the air and be like, hey, there's never been a World Series in franchise history, but man, this is the team. I mean, maybe. But it's so hard to go down that path knowing that they've never gone down that path.
They've never gone down that path. You're right. But each team every year is different, John.
No, I agree with you. I think they could do it, but I can't come on the air on August 28th and be like, this team's going to win the World Series.
Well, again, if they won the World Series versus the Yankees, then that has no bearing
it's
on
less 98. It's more, I know the format. It's tough.
Like
you can win 100. The format of the postseason. Like, you can win 119 games. Honestly, I wouldn't feel like I know my 119 win team is going to win the World Series. I just think there's a lot of challenges in the baseball postseason. I think it's very hard to win. I think it's harder than winning Super Bowl. You win 3 games.
I know. Well,
NBA, better teams win.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But baseball, we've talked about it. It doesn't always work like that.
But that doesn't mean that I can't sit here and say I feel very confident about them, because I do.
I feel confident about them. Do you feel confident about them winning a World Series?
I think this is the most confident I've felt about them to get to that point than any time I've covered this team in the last 13, 14 years.
And I feel the same way, but I still, what does that even mean?
It means exactly that.
But I mean, I just know it from my seat. I know that even if the postseason started tomorrow and they're the hottest team in baseball and they're the 4 seed, playing great baseball, they're hosting the Diamondbacks, I don't care. I'm going to feel good about their chances, but I can't go further than that, I guess. I don't want to put the cart before the horse, I guess.
Are you scared to do that?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. Like I'm gonna need to see it play out. Is that 3-game series, dude, come down to balls hitting bags or not hitting bags, or one pitch being a strike or a ball. Like it comes down to one moment in time decides who wins a 3-game series potentially. And yeah, you could play great for 50 days, and then all of a sudden you're down 2-0 in game 1 of a wild card round. And what does the last 50 days mean?
Look, we'll see where this team lands and what their final record will be if they get to that 90-win threshold.
Sure.
If they pull off, a division. They're only 3 games back of the Dodgers now since they lost last night to the Orioles. They're tied
with
the tiebreaker. So it's essentially 2 games back.
Kind of. Yeah. Right? I mean, 3, you win it. If you make up 3 games, you win the division.
Yeah. And then Arizona, you gained a game on them yesterday as the Mets blew them out. Mm-hmm. So you're tied with Arizona for the 4 seed right now. I don't know what that season series standings look like with Arizona, though.
Neither do I. There's 3 games remaining.
Right. I'm not quite sure. But say they win 93 games this year. Okay.
Big number.
That's the best record that this franchise has had since 98.
Yep.
So for me, I'm fully all in saying this is the best I've felt for this team and this franchise, their chances to win a World Series since I've been here and since 98 for sure.
I agree.
Because in 98, when they won 98 games, I mean, I wasn't listening to sports talk radio in this town, but I'm pretty damn sure that a lot of people were very confident about that team winning the division, having almost won 100 games. Like, yeah, they did play bad in September, but still winning 98 games, most in franchise history. You don't think people are saying to themselves, well, we're winning the World Series.
But that's not, I think we're making 2 different points. My point's Jeff Passan's point. We'll talk more about this on the other side. My point is this. You have 12 teams that are going to be in the postseason, and this year they're all even. And they're all even. Like his point that he made like a week ago is no one's winning 100 games. Mm-hmm. Nobody's winning 85 games. You're going to have like 9 90-win teams among the 12 in the postseason that are very similar, and you're basically doing a crapshoot with Major League Baseball's postseason, which means you, at worst, you have a 1-12, but that's not amazing odds, is my point.
And I'm saying that this roster, as it's constructed now, and where this team will finish at the end of the year, if they get past the 90 wins, I think this is one of the best Padres teams you could say in franchise history, potentially.
I agree with that. Now, what will it result in, though, in the postseason? All right, more on that on the other side. Plus, coming up on the other side, why don't we do this? We're going to give away pink tickets. The tickets aren't pink. It's to see Pink with Sheryl Crow and the Script, Wednesday, September 11th at Petco Park. Tickets and info at Ticketmaster.com. We'll give those away up next. Plus, the Padres trying to do something today they haven't done in 5 years, since 2019. What's that? We'll tell you next on Jon and Jim. All right, hey guys, it's Jon and Jim, and we're coming up an amazing time of year. Football is back within the next week. We've got the baseball postseason a month away, and with Underdog Fantasy, you can win 325 times your money just by choosing higher or lower on your favorite player's stats.
Yeah, we've been playing Underdog Fantasy for a couple years now. Can't wait for football season this year to pick higher or lower on my favorite teams. Also, Padres. They're doing well. Picking higher on Jackson Merrill and Manny Machado has done us pretty well, John, over the season.
There's no doubt about it. You could do it today, right in front of Padres-Cardinals Game 3 coming up in about an hour or so. So go to the mobile app, use UnderdogFantasy.com, sign up with promo code Jon and Jim, JONANDJIM, and Underdog will give you a highly discounted pick to use in your first pick of entry, plus a 50% deposit match up to $1,000, their best offer yet. That's Underdog Fantasy, promo code JONANDJIM to claim your new customer offer of a gimme first pick and your deposit offer.
Yeah, download the Underdog Fantasy app right now. Use promo code Jon and Jim. You must be 18 or older and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms do apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. All right, this update is brought to you by Project Clean Water. Padres and Cardinals, game 3 of their 4-game series tonight at Busch Stadium. 4:45 first pitch. Joe Musgrove will be on the mound for the Padres, looking to get that series win and win their 4th straight game in a row. Of the day, 49ers GM John Lynch said that Brandon Ayuk would practice today. Well, he's not at practice for the 49ers. Want to keep our waterways clean and beautiful? Harsh chemicals from car washing can flow into storm drains, harming our waterways. Choose eco-friendly car washes that properly dispose of the water from studs to shores. Wash your car wisely. Visit projectcleanwater.org for details and tips how to make a difference.
All right, Jim. Paul Garrison will join us at 4:30 East Village time as we get you ready for Saturday, Snapdragon Stadium, San Diego State, Texas A&M Commerce will be broadcasting outside the all-new Warrior Walk River Park block party location, south of the Yellow Lot. Ben Fletcher, J.R. Tolfer, they'll be broadcasting live beginning at 3 p.m. Jim's going to be there. Say hi. Here's what, if you see Jim on Saturday, ask him about Jurickson Profar.
Dude. So I put on Twitter, X, when Tatis gets back, what should the Padres lineup be? And we have a million responses.
I know. Well, that's the thing.
This is like what's like you ask a question and it's like a firestorm. Like everyone's got 2 cents. Everybody has a lineup that they want to throw out there.
Well, I agree. 760, by the way, in the text line. Like, I agree with this general sentiment. Hear me out. 2 things can be true. He says, I think lineup construction is massively important and underrated. And he goes on, I agree. It is. Front offices pour over data all day and all night to come up with ideal lineups. I'm just saying we don't know going into a game what would happen if they used a different lineup. We don't know if Machado hit 3rd, not 4th, if they'd score 6 more runs or 6 less runs in any one given game.
Correct.
The lineup, of course, is important. I'm just saying it's kind of like crying over spilled milk. Like if they lose tonight 6-4, are we going to blame it on lineup construction? It's hard to do that.
Not one time this year
has anyone done that.
We have talked about lineup construction. The only thing we talk about is why maybe certain guys aren't in the lineup, and mostly Donovan Solano. Like,
yeah, definitely.
That's it. It's not about. And also when Manny moved to the 5 and Bogey went down to 6.
Profar leading off, was Arise going to slot in as a leadoff hitter? Was an interesting conversation.
Yeah, and
it was a fun conversation.
It was a fun and short conversation because once they traded for Arise, he's the leadoff man.
Yep.
Even though, God forbid, he doesn't walk at all.
Right. and a lot of people thought Profar should be the leadoff hitter, but Arise is a naturally born hitter to lead off, even though he doesn't walk because he hits 300.
He is, I think, pretty close to leading the league in batting average right now. I think he's hitting 302, and I think the leader in batting average is around like 308.
Yeah, he's right there. He's percentage points away from a 3rd consecutive batting title.
Yeah, but he doesn't walk, John.
Yeah. Well, his on base percentage, truthfully, would you wish it to be a tick higher? Sure, but who cares? He gets on base a good amount. He puts the ball in play. He's been on base a lot for San Diego. I'll take my chances with Luis Arraez. Oh, by the way, he's got torn ligament, and it's hit 302.
Exactly.
With a torn ligament.
And by the way, when he first got here, he was on fire. Anyway, we digress.
Yeah.
The lineup, when Tatis gets back, wherever he gets put, okay, wherever they move, whoever they have, it's going to be a better lineup. And it's going to be like the fully transformed Megatron. Like, it's just going to be finally the lineup that we've been waiting for all year long. And truthfully, we've gotten this lineup a little bit this year, just not when they were playing their best baseball.
Absolutely.
I looked back, and there has been moments when everybody was in the lineup. Bogarts, Tatis,
Arise after the trade.
Jackson Merrill, Higgy, like everybody. Everybody was in the lineup at one point this year.
And they were a 500 team.
And they were 40-40.
Yeah.
And that was when Manny was really struggling.
Yeah.
That was when Bogarts was really struggling.
I remember Tatis kind of took off later. Remember, he had a nice little run there before the All-Star break, but there were periods of time this year where Tatis wasn't hitting as well. So I'm with you in the general sentiment. You got a better lineup with Fernando Tatis Jr. I would never argue it. And I think arguing it is ridiculous. Yeah. I think when people say, you know what? I think this team's better with Tatis out. I think that's utterly ridiculous. I truly believe that way, but can I fully explain them being a 500 team since 2019 when he's been in there? I can't fully explain it, but I just don't put that on him.
I don't either. It's just a weird coincidence. You got to chalk it up to that.
I don't put the Angels records on Ohtani in his 6 years.
Now, if Tatis gets back and all of a sudden they lose 10 in a row and they get bounced in the first round, won't be a good look for sure. And especially if he's not playing well, won't be a good look.
Will not.
But I just think that what this team has created while Tatis has been out, which is, how many games he's been out now? Like
forever.
40, 50 almost?
It's been 2 months. They haven't played a lot because of all the off days and the All-Star break, but 40 to 50.
So they got, he's played.
How many games are even left?
He's played 80 games this year, Tatis. They are 18 games over 500.
And there's 28 games left.
There's 28 games left.
That means he's missed 54 possible games. They played 134 games. He's played in 80. He's missed 54 possible games.
And they've been amazing the last 36 games, 34 games of the year.
34, 26, and 8.
26 and 8. Amazing.
Yep.
I just think that once Tatis gets back, it's only going to help this team. It's not going to hurt them.
I think here's how I honestly feel about it. I don't think it helps them win at a higher clip in the second half. That's impossible. I don't expect their winning percentage to go up with Tatis. Here's what I expect it to mean. I think it increases their ceiling in the postseason to win, because I don't care about their winning percentage in the postseason other than winning 4 out of every 7, so to speak. You know what I mean? You don't need to win it. I just think to win a series in the postseason, having Tatis, Darvish, Musgrove gives you a much higher ceiling than missing any of those 3, if not 2 of those 3 players potentially.
Yeah, the ceiling part is what we're talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
I still think that if we lived in a world where Tatis and Darvish did not return to this team,
you think they can still win?
I still think they can make a run to the World Series
because of what you're seeing.
Yeah.
I
think they have enough. I really do. I think, as we heard last segment, Mark DeRosa talk about, I think they have the best bullpen in baseball right now. They just have so many weapons. I think their starting pitching, while it's not the best in the world, you can make a case that it can be if they get hot. Like, you have Michael King and Joe Musgrove and Dylan Cease, and if those 3 guys are hot and they're rolling, name me a better 1, 2, 3 in baseball. Like, I'll match that up with anybody.
It's gonna be good. Yeah.
And then same thing with this lineup. You have Manny playing the way he's playing, Bogey playing the way he's playing, Jackson playing the way he's playing.
Same thing with the bullpen.
Like, in a world where Tatis and Darvish don't return, I still think this team has enough to make a run and even win a World Series. But with those guys back, the ceiling gets just higher for them.
I just think, and I agree with you, I'm not going to fight that point, but I just think watching a run play out in August is a lot different than October. Not to say they can't. I just think it's harder. I would never say they can't, because I don't believe that. I think they can. I think they're very good even without a lot of these really good players like Tatis and Darvish. I'm just saying, winning in August, and they've played good teams and they've played bad teams, and they've won at a consistently high level. We know how it feels once you get to October. Everything is different. Everything is heightened. And that might be a good thing for this team. It may be a great thing. I know that things change when you get into the postseason.
They do, but I think the one thing that is going to benefit this club more than anything, and there's a couple. One, they've dealt with every situation possible. Trailing in games, comebacks, holding late leads, everything, right? Losing leads and coming back in those games and winning them, having great pitching performances, having great offensive performances. Like, they've done all of it, right? Blow games, have bad blown leads, all that stuff. And what do you hear all the time for teams that make runs in the postseason?
What's that?
Oh, we started playing playoff baseball in X date, August 20th.
And we just carried it through.
Yeah, we've been playing playoff baseball in our minds since September 1st or August 15th or whatever date it is. You know, usually baseball players don't have exact dates in their mind because everything is such a blur. But that's what you hear a lot from teams that make runs in the postseason. Well, we've been playing playoff baseball in our minds for this how many days?
Yeah, you do hear that.
And that's what I think the Padres are going to be dealing with. They're not going to be cruising in. They're fighting for things that they want to get done, which is home field advantage in the playoffs.
Sure.
Making the playoffs in the division.
Yeah. It's an interesting point. All right. On the other side, I told you that they're trying to do something today they haven't done since 2019. What is that? I'll share that with you. We'll share that with you on the other side. Plus, right now, we promise you tickets to see Pink with Sheryl Crow and The Script. Caller 7, you're going. You need to call right now. We have 2 free tickets for Wednesday, September 11th at Petco Park. Tickets and info at Ticketmaster.com. The number to call, 877-767-4760. Caller 7, you're going to see Pink with Sheryl Crow and The Script at Petco Park on September 11th. The number to call, 877-767-4760. Caller 7, those are your 2 tickets. Up next, the Padres trying to do something for the first time in 5 years. Stay with us. All right, Padres Cardinals in an hour. Aztec tickets will give us away at the 4 o'clock hour. Paul Garrison from the East Coast Times will join us. Coming up at 4:30, the Padres have not won a series in St. Louis. The year was 2019. It was 5 years ago.
I remember that year like it was yesterday, and I truly do remember them winning that.
I remember they took 3 or 4. Was that when Tatis got hurt? Yes, early in the season. Did he not get hurt in a 4-game series there?
No, he actually balled out in that series.
Okay, that's what I was saying.
He got hurt.
It was a trick question.
He got hurt later in the year. I remember Tatis went there, and it was a whole big thing because of his dad.
Was it maybe like May or April?
It was
like
very early
on. Yeah.
And I remember him having like a kind of a breakout series almost.
That's what I was saying.
He got hurt.
Anyway, they've really struggled. I forgot what it was. Coming into the series, they were like, I'm making it up now, 1-9 in their last 10 games in St. Louis, or 2-10 in their last 12. But the most fascinating part of this series is, A, there's no one at Busch Stadium, which is honestly like mind-boggling when you look at it. Because you're like, Cardinals, oh my gosh, the Cardinal way, second winningest franchise in the history of baseball, behind the New York Yankees. And there's no one at Busch Stadium. They were a 500 team entering this series, but it's been 100 degrees. We're watching last night. We talked about it yesterday on Jon and Jim. We're like, why has Dylan Cease not been as effective? Guys, it's 105 heat index. Manny Machado said postgame, it's like, it's tough conditions to play in. It wasn't perfect, but we won the game. And that's all that really mattered at the end of the day.
I am perfectly fine and okay with Cease kind of having a rocky off start last night because of the weather, because of how, I mean, guys, it's not a video game. These are real people. And to go out there and play a professional game in that weather, that's tough, especially being a pitcher on the mound. Every dude's sweating their ass off. Like, it's just difficult to go through that game and pitch your best or play your best. So for me, all that matters is they found a way to get it done last night. They got the win. Cease was a little off for sure, but he grinded it out to almost get through. He got in the 6th, right? Or he got in the 5th.
Cease got into the 5th.
That's right. He got into the 5th.
90-something pitches.
Almost completed the 5th, but he left the game with the lead.
Yes, but then they
gave
it up.
Gave up a 2-run homer there.
But they got it back.
They got it back, and they won.
Yeah.
So I don't think we should be sitting here saying, like, oh, what's wrong with Dylan Cease? Like, maybe a little concern, but last night to me is kind of a one-off. And the best part is they got the win. Like, if you can get – it's like in football – when you are playing in like horrible conditions, you don't care about stats. You don't care about how you get it. You just, all you care about is, did you get the win or not?
And honestly, not even conditions. I'll give you an example in football. It's like, okay, I'll use your team. And I think it's valid here. It's like, okay, Niners hosting the Jets week 1. They're a healthy favorite. I don't know the number, but throw it out. 6-7 points.
Probably
at home.
6.5.
But just hear me out. Let's say it is sloppy in terms of the play.
Yeah.
But San Francisco wins the game 17-16. They don't play well. The offense sputters. They don't play well. But I don't know, they kick a field goal to win it.
Yeah.
But they won the game.
Those types of wins,
you kind of need them.
You do. And if you're going to play sloppy and you're not going to play your best baseball or best football,
you still win.
And you still win, you get the best of both worlds. You can say, okay, we need to improve on the XYZ, but thankfully we don't have to talk about improving on XYZ coming off a loss. Instead, it's coming off a win.
Okay, so Kevin Acee is going to join us coming up, as he always does on Fridays. He wrote something really interesting within the last 24 hours in the UT. We've talked about this a little bit over the course of the year, and if you're watching Padres games, you've seen this. Oftentimes this year, players are exchanging information on their way back to the dugout. What do I mean by that? You'll see David Peralta and Jake Cronenworth, just a quick word, right, between Merrill and Peralta or whomever in the lineup, as if to say, you know what, his slider is cutting away from righties or coming in on lefties, right? They're just sharing information. And Kevin Acee has written about this, and this came up actually earlier, I want to say, on a Merrill walk-off against Edwin Diaz. It did.
It was Sunday.
It was Sunday because Cronenworth and Merrill, I remember it too when it played out in real time. They said something to each other briefly, and then they talked about this post-game, and then Kevin wrote about it. And this is a fair point to write about. I don't recall this occurring certainly in 2023. It's happened a lot in 2024. And Kevin's saying what they're communicating with each other is the difference between a good team and a great team, and it's paying off right now.
That was a problem last season.
Right.
I remember Kevin writing about it, or somebody writing about it. It might have been Dennis or Kevin. But it was along the lines of, hey, someone said it to Kevin or Dennis. We need to start talking more to each other. We need to start like being a team.
I remember that.
I'm kind of paraphrasing here, but along the lines of, hey, we need to help each other out.
Yeah, I remember that.
And that right there, what you see, like you have it in front of you.
Yeah, there's a photo. I mean, there's a photo here. Yeah.
It was, and again, I'm paraphrasing again, that Cronenworth saw something with Diaz's slider. He told Jackson, hey, his slider's not moving.
That's exactly what he said.
If it gets over the middle of the plate, look for that. And that's exactly what he looked for. Took a couple fastballs away, slider down the plate. It was a lazy slider, and Jackson turned on it, hit the game-winning home run.
He said, this is Merrill, after that game, he said, I already had it in my mind, but him telling me it's literally not moving, as soon as I saw it, I said, yeah, it's gone.
Yeah, so that right there it gives you like chills, dude.
Yeah.
It literally gives you chills when you hear that type of stuff and you hear like one player coming over to the next guy up being like, hey, man, watch for this pitch because it's not moving. And then having that in your mind and be like, oh, my God. And then you see it and you just yank it. Dude. It's awesome.
To the point where Cronenworth told Kevin Acee that it's happening so often that it's become routine. The sharing of information between hitters during games, which is something like you said. I mean, we've talked so much. I think it's human nature to talk about the difference between one season to the next because we all lived through last year. It was 1 year ago. It wasn't long ago. It's human nature to be like, hey, this team's doing something that they didn't do a year ago. And it really has been a 180. It's not going to be like a 180 in terms of like 60 wins to 100 wins. But, man, the difference between last year and this year feels like everything to Padres fans.
And they still, I mean, they somehow won 82 games last year.
I know.
And they had an amazing, talented roster.
Mm-hmm.
But it just shows that team chemistry matters a lot.
Yeah.
It does. Like it matters everywhere. Workplace, environment. If you don't have a good team chemistry, it's not going to be fun to work there. If you have a great team chemistry and a great work environment, it's going to be fun.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how it's playing out right now with this team, that everything is clicking. The clubhouse environment, the relationships between the young players and the older players and the veterans, it is all just working and everyone pulls for each other. Nobody cares about who gets the accolades or who cares about, who gets the big hit. All they care about is getting the win. And it's exemplified by when you hear Jackson Merrill speak after games.
Completely agree.
When he's asked about the Rookie of the Year, he's like, I don't care. We got all I want to do is win the game. And if I go 0 for 4 and we win, that's all that matters. And that's like the best type of quality to have. Nobody caring about their stats, nobody caring about who gets it done. The only thing that matters is, did we win the game or did we lose? And if we won, that's all I care about.
Joe Musgrove, by the way, tonight for the Padres, we've talked about this during Musgrove's return. He's been very good since coming back from the IL. I think it's 3 starts. I was going to look up the exact numbers. In his 3 starts since returning, he's allowed 1 run in 15 2/3 innings, 0.57 ERA. We'll see if he can continue that tonight. That's good. A 0.57 ERA would be very good for the rest of the year.
And the weather right now in St. Louis,
right?
We have, I don't see any rain in the forecast, but it's 89 degrees. And so, yeah, it's cloudy.
I think AC just tweeted out.
Well, maybe it's going to rain. I don't know.
I think
55% chance.
50.
Yeah. 50?
Yep.
Well, AC tweeted out something about range. Okay, this place, yesterday's fever dream, now an imminent rain shower. So hopefully just a rain shower. But it's been hot. It's been humid. The Padres have still won the first 2 games of the series. We'll see if Joe Musgrove can make it a series win tonight in St. Louis. On the other side, the wrap coming up at the 4 o'clock hour. San Diego State tickets for Saturday, as Paul Garrison from the East Village Times will join the show at 4:30. We'll kick off hour 2 of Jon and Jim next.
All right, this update is brought to you by Project Clean Water. Padres Cardinals game 3 of their 4-game series later this afternoon, 4:45 first pitch. Padres going for the series win today. Joe Musgrove on the mound. And NFL news of the day, John Lynch, 49ers GM, talked earlier today, said that they expected Brandon Ayuk to practice today for the 49ers. Well, practice is underway in Santa Clara, and no sign of Brandon Ayuk. Want to keep our waterways clean and beautiful? Harsh chemicals from car washing can flow into storm drains, harming our waterways. Choose eco-friendly car washes that properly dispose of the water from studs to shores. Wash your car wisely. Visit projectcleanwater.org for details and tips how to make a difference.
It's time for The Wrap, presented by Sombrero. Getting you all set for that drive home. Let's just start the show. Here's Jon and Jim.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? This is hour 2 of Jon and Jim. This hour, we will give away Aztec tickets for Saturday against Texas A&M Commerce. Snapdragon Stadium. Tickets and info, by the way, goaztecs.com. Saturday at 5. Our pregame coverage will begin at 3. You'll need to be listening around 4:30 when Paul Garrison joins the show. After our conversation with Paul, we'll let you know how to win those tickets for Saturday at Snapdragon Stadium. So we've got Paul at 4:30. We have Chris Hodge taking Vegas, returning to the show tomorrow. Free college picks. He'll typically make college and NFL picks. He'll start making NFL picks next week. When the NFL returns this week, he'll make some college picks. So the return of Chris Hodge taking Vegas tomorrow. Kevin Acee will join us on Friday. We typically get to the wrap around now, so let's get to the wrap.
It's time for The Wrap, presented by Sombrero Mexican Food. Check out their website at sombreromex.com.
Did the Steelers make the right choice at quarterback going with Russell Wilson?
Well, it was either that or Justin Fields. It's like a rock and a hard place. Whatever choice you make, it's not going to be that great. I think Russell Wilson is completely out of his prime. I don't think that he's really a great quarterback anymore. And it's just like, hey, we want to be average. Let's pick Russell Wilson.
I think it sets up well for Justin Fields to end up with the job.
Probably, yeah.
Because now, will Justin Fields take advantage of that? We'll find out. But there's no chance. I mean, I'd be very surprised if Russell Wilson starts the season and doesn't lose his job at some point to ineffectiveness. They're not going 11-6. They're going to be a middling team. At some point, they'll be on a 2-game losing streak, and Mike Tomlin's going to need to make a decision. So I honestly think it works out well for Justin Fields because he probably was going to lose it if he started the year. And I think because Wilson starts the year with the job, he'll probably lose it at some point.
I think it depends. I'm not convinced that Wilson's done yet. You
No?
know, well, his first year in Denver, he had arguably the worst head coach ever, unless you're Aaron Rodgers with, was it Pickett or Nathaniel Hackett?
Yeah.
And then him and Peyton just didn't get along right off the set. So I kind of compared it to Kurt Warner in a way, how he was awesome with the Rams, went to the Giants and it sucked, and everyone thought he was washed up and he had nothing left. And then he went to the Cardinals and found the right fit, and then he was awesome again. So I think Wilson just needs to find a better fit.
Let's see.
Is Pittsburgh it? I don't know.
Next question.
Would you take a 5-2 road trip for the Padres?
Of course.
So 3-2 from here on out.
5-2 road trip. If we asked that same question on Monday before the game 1 in St. Louis.
No, I know. But it's after Monday. That's like saying, would you take what's the record right now? They've already done the 76-58 part. So, they've already done the 2-0. Would you take 3-2 over the next 5 games?
Well, that means that they win 2 or 3 versus the Rays, and they take one of the next 2 in St. Louis. I'm cool with that.
Yeah, that's positive. Or it means they win the next 3 and lose the last 2, or they lose the next 2 and win the next 3.
It's about winning series, winning road trips, and a 5-2 road trip to me is really, really good.
I'm 100% taking it.
Yeah.
I'm cool with it. There's way worse alternatives, like going 2-3 in their next 5 games or 1-4, and they could do better than 5-2. Maybe they will. Maybe they go 6-1 on this trip. But yes, 3-2 over the next 5, I do think is good enough. And also Dodgers and Diamondbacks will meet 4 times Friday through Monday. So maybe chances to gain on one of those 2 teams as well. Next question.
Who's having the best season in baseball? Judge, Ohtani, or Bobby Witt Jr.?
Well, that's such a Jim question on the fly. Well, you can answer it. Are those even the three best players? I mean, Soto's having a damn good year.
Want to throw Soto in there too?
I mean, I think you should. He's
Okay.
over 1,000 OPS still.
All right, I'll throw Soto in there too.
Yeah.
What's your answer?
My answer would be Aaron Judge. I think it's Aaron Judge. I mean, his year has been so prodigious again. The home run totals are ridiculous. When you're setting American League home run records and you're doing it again and you're with the New York Yankees, I think he's had the best year in baseball. I think from there, Bobby Witt has had an incredible year. I think Ohtani's had an incredible year. But I think Judge is going to get most of the headlines. I think Judge wins American League MVP. I think Ohtani wins National League MVP. What do you think?
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, Juan Soto's having an incredible season. He's got over 1,000 OPS. Yep. He's at 7.4 WAR. He's going to hit 40 home runs, hit 294, 108 runs, 95 RBIs. Bobby Witt is like, if he played in any other era, like maybe any other season, maybe he wins MVP because he's potentially going to have a 9+ WAR. He's going to lead the league in batting average, have over 1,000 OPS, could have a 30-30 season. But it's Aaron Judge. Aaron Judge is having the best year in baseball. If Ohtani gets 50-50, that will be an incredible achievement because it's never happened before. But if Ohtani doesn't, then I don't want to hear anybody saying Ohtani has the best season because Aaron Judge says, look at me over here. I have almost a 10 WAR, and I'm about to hit 60 home runs again and win another MVP.
Yeah, if Ohtani only has 49-49, he sucks.
I never said that.
No, I'm saying it.
Okay.
I'm kidding. Next question.
Will Dak Prescott be the highest paid player in the NFL history when he signs his next deal?
By the way, Judge's OPS plus is 229.
Yeah, it's amazing.
This is ridiculous.
How many career home runs does he have?
Career home runs? Aaron Judge has 308.
He's one. And how old is he?
He's in his 30s. He is where is it here? I can't
underage.
Oh, he's 32.
I mean, he's not a Hall of Fame lock today, but he's going to be a Hall of Famer, right? He's going to have another 3 40 home run seasons at least. So he's going to get to the mid 4, right? He can stumble into another 190 home runs, can he?
He'll be a 2-time MVP. He won Rookie of the Year. He is a 6-time All-Star.
American League home run record.
3 seasons now with 50+ home runs.
Do you think he's a lock if his career ended right now?
Right now?
Like at the end of the season. 2-time MVP, everything you just said, 300+ home runs.
I think with the way
it's trending,
baseball needs to start trending.
Maybe.
It needs to start trending.
His career's not over, so he will be in the Hall of Fame. Because he's got another 150 home runs in him, even as a 32-year-old.
Yeah,
because he gets them at such a ridiculous pace.
I mean, if he doesn't get to 500, I think I'd be a little surprised. But age is kind of what's.
But even 475 for him with all the advanced analytics should be more than enough.
And if he wins another MVP, if he wins a World Series, like, give me a break. It's a lot.
I agree.
Or what's the Dak question again? It was.
Will he be the highest paid player in NFL history when he signs his next deal?
He will.
Probably, right? That's how the deals get done.
He will. Now, will that be in next offseason or? Yeah.
Probably. Because if not, wouldn't it happen like between now and opening day?
Well, I'm sure that he'll probably say, I'm not signing the deal until Brock does because there's no way in hell I'm letting Brock be higher paid than me.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I would just wait until the next offseason to get more money because doesn't the cap go up between seasons?
It's always going up.
Yeah, so I'm waiting. I'll wait this off. I don't need the extension right now. Now I'm betting on myself. I got to play well in 2024. But what's the highest paid quarterback in terms of AAV right now? Where are we
High
now?
50s. High 50s.
So he's getting $60 million a year probably when he gets his extension. And they just gave CeeDee Lamb the second richest deal for a non-QB. They're going to give Micah Parsons the most money ever given to a defensive player in all likelihood.
Yeah, that'd be crazy. I mean, the money just goes up and up in football, and it's still not even close to the money that you see in the NBA and in baseball, by the way.
True. Now they play 17 games, but it's ridiculous what they're asked to do.
Yeah, it's like, hey, we want you to go out there for about 20 games a year, and it's basically 20 days where you're constantly in a car crash.
Right.
Like for 2 hours every Sunday for 4.5 months, you will be in a car crash every single afternoon.
It's crazy.
2.5 hours.
Now, some of the positions, again, are a little more fortunate. Like, again, by and large, yeah, quarterbacks suffer a lot of injuries. Some of
not
them are the
like
same
linemen.
type of injuries. Yeah, exactly.
Like,
They're not the devastating injuries on
No.
average. There have been a lot of devastating injuries with quarterbacks, but not as many recently, maybe. You know what I mean? Like ACL is not going to ruin the last 40 years of your life, for example.
no,
Like a head injury.
head injuries, those will hurt you. If you have multiple surgeries on like different body parts, like shoulders or knees, then that could definitely hurt you as well, for sure, long term.
Yeah, no doubt.
But yeah, football, with the amount of money that the NFL makes, of course these guys are going to be asking for 50, 60, 70 even a year, because the NFL is a multi-billion dollar organization.
Money's only going up. They're going to get the 18th game sooner rather than later in the regular season. They've expanded the postseason within the last couple of years. They've added games internationally, not just London, games in Germany, game this year in Brazil on a Friday night. They've put games on, streamers like Peacock here recently as well. Like, what is next for the NFL? I think what's next for the NFL is President's Day weekend. Extend out the regular season, move back the postseason. You're into a national holiday on a Monday. You're playing Super Bowl Sunday the day before a national holiday. And I mean, it's crazy. What will the NFL's revenues look like in 10 years? I mean, they've already probably doubled in the last 10 years. They'll probably double again.
It's like housing prices. They just go up and up and up and up.
Yeah, like what could possibly derail the NFL from being the runaway king of American
Nothing.
everything? Like there's nothing.
There'd have to be like some massive, like Penn State type scandal.
There's
But even that, what has that meant to college football? Nothing. There's more money in college football today than there was when that scandal happened,
even
14 years ago.
Even if there's scandals with, let's just say, a team,
and there's been scandals.
There's been plenty of scandals. And guess what happens? The NFL figures a way to move on from that and kind of not sweep it under the rug, but like not have it affect the bottom line.
The only other thing I can think of, which it could happen, we just get oversaturated with it.
Too many games.
I think part of the reason why everyone loves the NFL is because we only get it, a couple times a week, opposed to baseball where, it could be 6 days a week. To where, are we still going to have the same love for it if, we have NFL on, 5 days a week because they keep adding games and everything else?
If anything,
I want 162 games.
If anything, the NFL is just going to get bigger and bigger, not because of just like the football aspect of it, the gambling, the fantasy football, all of that,
the all year marketing the sport.
I mean, gambling and fantasy football, those two things, mostly gambling, but those things right there will never, in my opinion, make the NFL like, oh, we don't want it anymore. Like, it's like, give me more is basically what people are saying.
I agree with you. All right. Coming up later this hour, Paul Garrison, East Village Times will preview week 1 for San Diego State against Texas A&M Commerce on Saturday. After that conversation, be listening. We'll tell you how to win tickets for Saturday. We have a pair of free tickets for one of our listeners here today. Coming up next, the latest in the saga between the Niners and Brandon Ayuk. What the hell is going on? We've got the latest next on Jon and Jim. right, we're going to give away Aztec tickets coming up between 4:30 and 4:45 after Paul Garrison from the East Village Times joins us. He'll join us in about 12 minutes. We'll preview game one for the Aztecs under Sean Lewis. So be listening. Your chance to win those tickets for Saturday. Tickets are available at goaztecs.com. We'll give away a free pair of tickets coming up within the next 30 minutes. We're inching closer to week one of the NFL. We are a week and a day away.
A week and a day, yeah.
From Ravens Chiefs at Arrowhead, then that Friday game, Green Bay, Philadelphia, and Brazil, and then everything that weekend, and then Monday night. Monday night is it 2 games still Monday night this year with the Friday game? I don't know.
Isn't
the
the Brazil game Saturday or is it Friday?
It's Friday.
Oh, okay.
On Peacock. But one of the Monday night games is San Francisco, New York. Good game. Aaron Rodgers returning. The Niners obviously were in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Now, John Lynch today was quoted on the latest with Brandon Ayuk, who missed practice today with the Niners. And John Lynch saying today on Ayuk, at some point you got to play. Now, again, the Niners have the benefit of playing Monday, not Thursday. But, man, it is coming. We are 10 days away. It's one of the longest sagas I can remember. There's been other examples, I'm sure, in camps and in preseasons. But this has played out now for 3+ weeks.
Just one game on Monday.
Just one game. Thank you. How will this be resolved and when between the Niners and Ayuk?
Well, again, this has happened before. This is not something new.
No doubt.
It's just high profile because it's the 49ers and they were just in the Super Bowl. And so all the eyes are on them, right?
And the CeeDee Lamb thing got done.
Yeah. And the Brandon Ayuk situation, because it's so fascinating, can the Niners keep all these players together, right? And a lot of people don't want the 49ers to keep these players together because they think it's not fair. It's like, what are you talking about?
Who's saying that? Seriously.
Seriously, like Nick Wright, some other people on FS1.
I mean, they're not the Chiefs. They
like,
haven't
well,
won the
you
last
know,
3 Super Bowls.
Brock Purdy's not good without the Avengers, and let's see what he does without the Avengers.
Right. The skill around him is so special.
Yeah.
That's why they win, and that's why he's so good.
Yeah, it's like, well, credit to the Niners for
drafting, developing,
doing that.
Yeah. Right.
Like, why should it be like, we need to see what this player does without these guys?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, the Brandon Ayuk thing now has reached a point where he is going to be losing money. He was not losing money before because it was quote unquote a hold in. And now this is officially a hold out. If he's not going to practice, he will be fined and his base salary will go down the time by how many practices he misses. Right now with Trent Williams, he's already lost, I think, almost $4 million because what he is doing is a holdout.
$4 million.
Yeah. And he wants a big time contract. I don't blame him. He's the best left tackle in football. He's a Hall of Famer. But also, I think these guys, from a fan's perspective, it looks very selfish.
So when John Lynch says that, is he saying like it's now or never? Like he's saying at some point you got to decide what you're going to do. Otherwise, like our texter here, 218 says, based on that quote, maybe Ayuk's going to be in Pittsburgh by the weekend. I mean, is that what we're kind of saying? Like there's an ultimatum here. You need to make a decision. We've given you our best and final.
Also, truthfully, it's not even his decision to make because he's under contract.
Yeah, but if he's going to hold out.
If he's going to hold out, then he can hold out. But he is under contract. So
yeah, but they have said that they will grant his request of right. They had already worked out trades.
But here's the other thing, which is kind of the point I'm trying to make is it's not up to Brandon Ayuk, and it shouldn't be up to Brandon Ayuk that he's dictating these terms. They had a trade in place with the Cleveland Browns all ready to go. Brandon Ayuk said no. He's not going to sign an extension there.
Mm-hmm.
They had a trade in place with the New England Patriots. Brandon Ayuk said no. He's not going to sign a contract there. So from that standpoint, like it's annoying because it really shouldn't be up to him. But the teams that had a trade in place with the Niners aren't going to go through with that trade if Brandon Ayuk's not going to sign an extension that they want to do.
Dude, the players have the leverage here.
They
because
do.
At the end of the day, the Niners either need Ayuk to play or the Niners need to trade Ayuk. Like the Niners are not in a position where they can just have Ayuk not play for them. Like that's not going to put them in a better position than they were in a year ago to go win a Super Bowl. So listen, it's the story of training camp right now in the NFL. CeeDee Lamb was a huge story. It got resolved. Dak Prescott's for another day. Micah Parsons is for another day. They're both playing in 2024. When I think like what's the most compelling preseason? I know we're out of the preseason heading to the season. What's the most compelling story right now in the NFL? It's probably Ayuk. certainly once we get to, games, the return of Aaron Rodgers with the Jets is a massive story. In the NFL, there'll be a zillion storylines come next weekend. But right now, like what's going to happen with Brandon Ayuk has dominated NFL headlines.
It really has. And Jamar Chase is another guy that's holding out, but he
That's right.
was at practice today, but he didn't practice.
Yeah, I saw those quotes.
It was weird. And then that's pretty much it right now. And to me, if I'm Jamar Chase, I'm saying CeeDee Lamb money. And he deserves that CeeDee Lamb money, I feel like. Jamar Chase is one of the top 5 receivers in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Ayuk, I love you, man, but you're not. You're not a top 5 wide receiver. I don't know what the holdup is here. There was reports that like this was close and they were just working on the years and it's still not done yet. I mean, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's taken way too long. Now, again, are we going to turn our attention next Thursday to Chiefs Ravens? Yeah, everyone will. There'll be 30 million viewers, and then Eagles Packers, and then Sunday, and then Monday night. But as we wait, we're waiting on resolution there between Brandon Ayuk and the Niners, and what impact does it have on 2024? All right, Paul Garrison is going to join us. So again, you need to stay with us, and here's why. Because after we talk to Paul Garrison, we're going to ask you for something from our conversation and then tell you to call 877-767-4760. Don't call now, but after our conversation with Paul Garrison, coming up on the other side, we'll give away 2 tickets to San Diego State and Texas A&M Commerce. This will be Saturday at Snapdragon Stadium. Tickets and info are available right now at goaztecs.com. So a friend of the show, Paul Garrison, he does a great job in Aztec Athletics, will join us. Coming up next, we'll get into week 1 for San Diego State, the debut of Sean Lewis and his team on the Mesa with Paul Garrison plus Aztec tickets. Coming up next on Jon and Jim.
All right, this update's brought to you by Project Clean Water. Padres Cardinals, game 3 of their 4-game series tonight at Busch Stadium in St. Louis. 4:45 first pitch. Joe Musgrove on the mound for the Padres, looking to give the Padres their 4th straight win and the series win tonight. Moving over to NFL news, we just talked about it. Brandon Ayuk, who was expected to practice today for the 49ers. Even John Lynch expected him to practice today, as he said in the press conference earlier this afternoon. Did not show for practice. It is now officially a holdout for Brandon Ayuk. Want to keep our waterways clean and beautiful. Harsh chemicals from car washing can flow into storm drains, harming our waterways. Choose eco-friendly car washes that properly dispose of the water. From suds to shores, wash your car wisely. Visit projectcleanwater.org for details and tips how to make a difference.
All right, Aztecs opener Saturday, Snapdragon Stadium at 5 p.m. We have 2 free tickets to give away. We'll do it between now and the end of the segment. After a conversation with Paul Garrison, you need to be listening. Something from this conversation will be the question we'll ask you in about 10 minutes or so. San Diego State, Texas A&M Commerce, 5 o'clock Saturday, right here on San Diego Sports 760. Paul Garrison does an amazing job covering San Diego State football and Aztec athletics. I think I listened to you cover this with Andre for like 90 minutes today, Paul. I think I started listening to it last night, fell asleep to whatever you guys are talking about, maybe a season preview. I woke up to it.
You always do that.
I then was listening to it in the car today. I've been listening to you for like 6 hours, but it's been interrupted over the course of like the last 24 hours. So appreciate you joining us here.
Thanks for joining us. I fell asleep listening to you.
I've been listening to you for hours, Paul. Thank you for joining us. Let's just start with this. What are your expectations for what we're going to see on Saturday from San Diego State's perspective? How do you think this all plays out in the opener against Texas A&M Commerce? And the theme of the year continues on San Diego Sports 760. All right, so what's our update here? Let's go by. Do we do this on like StreamYard? I couldn't hear that.
I don't know, dude.
I'm going to try the listener line.
All right, we're going to try the listener line.
I mean, we're both speechless.
I'm literally speechless.
I don't want to say anything. I don't want to talk about it because I'm already fuming. So I'll just let it be.
If you are an audio engineer, here's our address.
Seriously. Do you want a job?
Just, honestly, you can just like at John Schaefer, at Jim Russell.
Maybe they'll get something done around here.
Like, seriously, you start tomorrow.
Congrats.
We'll discuss salary tonight. You start tomorrow. We're going to try this one more time. Paul, can you hear us?
Awesome.
All right.
Thanks for joining us. That was a great show, everybody. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
All right. So what did Paul say was the biggest key for the Aztecs on Saturday? I'm kidding.
Oh, my God.
Let me text him and say my apologies.
Oh, man. I see over there that there's the line is buzzing.
I see the line here,
and then
the lines are not showing up on the screen up here for us.
No,
and that's somewhat surprising because I don't recall ever having.
I think it's time to flip a table. I really do.
Well, I would if the table flipped.
Well, there's a table over there.
There's a table. We should on YouTube.
I want to flip that.
You're
table.
right. This is the right. If there's a night you're gonna flip a table,
it's tonight.
This is the night.
It's today.
This is like
we are flipping table.
We've lost 33 straight. We're done. 2 managers.
We're done.
We traded everyone.
We've tried our hardest. We've sent emails after emails.
Get Mike. Honestly, Jim, I'll go out. I'm gonna get Mike.
Go get him. Go get him.
Tell Mike
on
air.
Yeah, on air. Do it on air. Perfect.
Maybe we should bring him in to talk about it.
I don't think he knows, John. So John is going. Yeah. We're literally on air. Our phones aren't even working. It feels like we have dead air to start the show. We have the phones crapping out on us. I mean, this is ridiculous. I apologize. I apologize to all of you out there. Yeah, this is it's just a train wreck. This is absolutely a disaster, and it's only Wednesday. It's only Wednesday. Why can't it be Friday? Oh my goodness, John is out there. He'll be back in a second, I guess. I mean, we just are in a waiting pattern. We just kind of waiting to see what's going on here.
We should text back and forth with Paul Garrison.
Then do it.
And then relay it.
Hey,
and then relay it to our
Paul.
listeners.
What? If I know you're listening,
Smoke signals, maybe.
Paul, I know you're listening.
Key. He could come here.
Can you text us? Like, if I don't even know if you heard what we talked about.
I have no idea.
It doesn't even matter.
Let's talk about this game on Saturday and then give away tickets in a few minutes because it is the opener of the Sean Lewis era on the Mesa Aztec Fast, San Diego State, Texas A&M Commerce. We've talked about it. I just saw it at ESPN.com. Typically, I mean, FBS, FCS, you're not going to get a ton of betting lines on those games when it's an FBS team against an FCS team, but they do have them now. San Diego State, obviously, at home is going to be a healthy favorite. But what do we know about the Aztecs? What do we know about Texas A&M Commerce? It's so much new. You got 50-something new players at San Diego State, including a true freshman quarterback. I think that's what makes it almost so exciting. I don't even know what to truly expect, and I don't know what they even truly expect with week one. All of it is so new. I'm excited to see it, and I don't even know what my expectations are, truthfully, heading in. I'm just excited to watch it play out in front of us on Saturday.
Yeah, it's all new. There's nothing to go off of other than the practices that you've seen or that, the scrimmages that we've seen. Other than that, it's completely entirely new. I'm excited because I think the offense, I'm not saying they have to score 30 plus points, but I think the offense, just from a tempo standpoint, is going to excite people. Like, oh wow, this is different. Like, this is very fast.
Right.
They're moving the ball down the field. They're not stalling here. Like, they're going to have 3 and outs. Obviously, they're not going to go up and down the field all the time, but there will be moments. I think that it will be a little eye opening for Aztecs fans that have been wanting offense for so long that now you're going to see glimpses of it, and you're going to see the promise of having a program that is driven and has a mindset of offensive football. Like, it's offensive driven, this program now going forward.
Offensive first, where for 15 years was defensive first. They won a ton of games. They won a ton of games that way. And now you're right. It's like the flip. The script has flipped. I'll tell you a player I'm really excited about. We've had him with us. And then I heard him yesterday with the media because I was watching back his conversation with the media on YouTube. Marquez Cooper, the running back, the nation's active leading rusher. I'm a huge fan of him off the field, and I can't wait to see him on the field. Now, unfortunately, they lost Keenan Christian due to injury, right? So we know Keenan's out, at least for the first few games of the season. That's unfortunate for the team. There's no question about it. From Marquez Cooper's perspective, and they've got a good running back room, this guy's going to get a ton of opportunities. His workload's only going up, even though they've got a really good running back room. And this guy's going over 1,000 yards 3 consecutive years. He will be on display on Saturday. That is one thing for certain. We're going to see a lot of Marquez Cooper, I would suspect, and he's a guy that has rushed for over 3,000 career yards in his career.
And I think that to start out, you're going to see a lot of RPO run plays from this team. I just do. I don't think they're going to open it up and throw it 45 times, especially with a redshirt freshman quarterback.
True freshman.
True freshman.
Yeah.
Sorry, true
Yep.
freshman. My bad. Not
Yep.
redshirt.
Yep.
True freshman. And with so many running backs in that room, you're going to see a lot of guys in and out, a lot of run plays, because truthfully, that's like the foundation of a Sean Lewis offense. Everyone thinks it's like throw for 700 yards and score 60 points a game, but actually it's a lot of running that opens up the passing game. And of course, that's just how any football offense works, is like, you run the football well, guess what? Opens up the pass game. Except what Sean Lewis does is he wants to get a playoff quickly every single time, and it's an RPO every single time, and he wants to run the football a lot.
Yeah, no doubt. I think the misconception has been, and we even had him on earlier in the year, and he said this, is like the belief is that all they do is throw it around, and that's how they have, high point totals game in and game out. Colorado, Kent State, Syracuse, Bowling Green, Eastern Illinois, wherever he's been. The truth is he's had one of the most balanced offenses in America over the years. Same number of rush yards to pass yards, or equal number of running plays to passing plays. I think we'll really see the running game on display, even in the RPO offense, where you'll have potentially quarterback runs in there. You'll see Marquez Cooper. If things go the way you hope them to go and they build a lead, well, they're not going to throw it more than they run it. They're hopefully going to run it more than they throw it. And hopefully they can score a lot of points playing that way as well. But it's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to it. Am I nervous for it? Not in calling it. I'm just in general. It's a season opener. There's no preseason. It's not like you get a chance to try it 2 weeks ago and see what it looks like. You've only played, against your own team. So you don't fully know what you're going to get.
You want everything to go right. You want everything to happen as it's supposed to happen in a positive way. You want this team to win 35-10, right? You want things to go every single play, like, oh, positive gain, positive yards, like, oh, turnovers, touchdowns. But the reality is it's not going to work like that. It's not going to happen.
Matt Johnson, quarterback coach, we had him on right this week, and he was like, there's going to be some trial by fire here. It's like, how do you deal with it? You asked him, like, is he looking over his shoulder? You didn't ask it that way.
And
but
I
like, will he
love
lose
his response.
He's like, no, we don't. That's not what we're looking for. We know that he's not going to be perfect. There are no really perfect players. There are no perfect games. And you're asking a true freshman to fill the most important job on the team.
Yep.
Play the biggest role for this team. And it's not going to go perfectly. And it probably wouldn't go perfectly with a fifth-year senior either,
and
to be honest with you.
And AJ Duffy is a guy that I penciled in to be the starting quarterback this season. They went a different route, but Matt Johnson's answer yesterday or the other day, days are all mixed up now, I loved it. Like, hey, we're giving this guy the keys to the car, and we are going to create an environment where he is not going to have to look over his shoulder if he makes a mistake, because the last thing we want to do is have him play tentative and afraid to make mistakes. Because if he feels like if he makes a mistake, he's going to get benched, then what kind of environment are we creating here? Like, that's not a good environment to have. And I think you can kind of tell a little bit, like, that was the environment in Colorado with Dion. If you didn't perform, you're getting benched. That, I feel like, is not going to be the case here. They're going to give guys all these opportunities to fail and overcome those failures and then succeed. And then obviously there's guys behind them that are itching to play, but we're not going to create an environment where the dudes behind them are just waiting for them to make the player in front of them to make a mistake, because then they can get on the field. Like, that's not how it's going to work here.
All right, here's what we're going to do right now. We're giving away those 2 tickets. You need to know what Aztec is the nation's active leading rusher. 877-767-4760. What's his name? He's been on with us. We just discussed him briefly within this segment. What's the name of the nation's active leading rusher? He is an Aztec. 877-767-4760. The first person with that correct answer is going to see the Aztecs Saturday against Texas A&M Commerce. Saturday at 5 p.m. Snapdragon Stadium. Tickets and info at goaztecs.com. First 10,000 fans, by the way, get a San Diego State Hawaiian shirt. Call right now, 877-767-4760 with the name of the nation's active leading rusher. First correct caller is winning those tickets. All right, still a ton to get to. We have great giveaways coming up in the 5 o'clock hour as well. We get you ready for Game 3 on the other side. Padres and Cards about to get underway from St. Louis on Jon and Jim. All right, Jon and Jim with you until 6 p.m. We think we'll be here until 6 p.m. We have 3 giveaways for you the 5 o'clock hour, Jim. All could be yours. Def Leppard tickets for Friday night at Petco Park. How about that? We have Def Leppard tickets for Friday night at Petco Park. We have Dan and Shay tickets coming up in September at the North Island Credit Union Amphitheater. We have Train with REO Speedwagon we'll give away as well for September at the North Island Credit Union Amphitheater. We'll keep you updated, of course, on the Padres here today, trying to make it 3 straight to begin their road trip through St. Louis and Tampa Bay. Did you see this story in the NBA? I know you did.
LeBron?
Yeah, he goes on The Shop. What is The Shop?
It's
Is
like
that his show?
own produced show, yeah.
On Netflix? Where
It's
do
on
I
HBO,
go?
I think.
On HBO. Okay. And on his produced show, he says that he cannot call him dad. He's talking about Bronny. In the workplace, he cannot call me dad. I mean, yeah, I guess that makes sense, right? Because you're now teammates. But I don't know. I don't know. That's weird. Wouldn't that get more awkward if you're like, what if he's always
You
called
think
you
it'd be
dad?
awkward if he's like, "Daddy, I'm open.
Not
Daddy,
daddy.
Daddy,
Daddy.
throw
What
me
if
the
you
ball,
always-
Daddy."
What does he normally call him? Dad.
Dad?
And now he's like, LeBron, pass me the ball.
I don't know what
But-
he calls him.
Well, that's what he's like. Well, what do you want him to call you? And he's like, well, you can call me Braun. You can call me 23, or he's just like, you can call me Goat. You can call me whatever he wants. Just don't call me Dad.
What would you call him?
I mean, they're not even going to be on the floor together.
they're not
I-
playing together. He's
Exactly.
not going to play.
I was disappointed. He's like, you can call me Goat, and nobody was like, oh, you want him to call you Michael?
Yeah. I know. The LeBron you go.
I mean, I guess they'll practice together, but they're not going to play often together. They may play opening night for the scene together.
Well, I was gonna say the only way Bronny is going to get in is in like blowout situations, but those are situations where LeBron is going to get out. So it's like, are we going to play LeBron when we're up by 30 in the 4th quarter so then he can play with Bronny and risk him getting hurt? Or are we going to put Bronny in when we're not up by 30 and risk us losing a game because he's not good enough to be playing in crunch time?
One of my favorite things so far in the Bronny era
What an era it's been. Yeah.
was during his introductory press conference. And I think it was Dave McMenamin, who, by the way, did you know that he was engaged to Malika Andrews?
I had no idea.
They just got married in San Francisco.
I had no idea.
Dave McMenamin and Malika Andrews just got married, I think, this past weekend.
Dave McMenamin
Yeah.
is the reporter.
He's the reporter. He has mostly covered the Lakers, but also he's covered mostly LeBron
Okay. For ESPN.
for ESPN.
Okay. Yeah.
And he married Malika Andrews. Anyway,
What's the surprising part of it? Just random?
random, good for him. And
Yeah. It's not like,
Kind
to
of out
me,
of
it's not
nowhere.
like, yeah, it's a little out of left field.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. I guess it's kind of random. Yeah.
but anyway, my story was during his introductory press conference, Bronny was doing a interview with Dave McMenamin, and one of the questions that was asked him was like, "Hey, how excited are you to be throwing lobs to Anthony Davis?" And I'm like, dude is
In
never
what
gonna play
capacity?
like
Yeah.
in practice.
Yeah. Like,
Like
right.
after practice, because he ain't gonna be on the floor in crunch time with AD throwing lobs to him.
It's going to be amazing to watch this play out, dude.
So you're telling me we're never going to hear Bronny for the win?
No, we'll never hear that.
Here's a question for you. What's the over under on NBA minutes for Bronny
Like
What-
total.
for this year? And what's the over under on games played in the NBA? I'm just assuming you start the year in the NBA. Maybe there's a moment or two you're in the NBA. Otherwise, you're just in the G League. That's my assumption. But am I off? They've given him the guaranteed contract.
I think that he will 100% play this year because it's Braun and his son. But I'm gonna give him like what 10, 15 games tops.
10, 15 games tops with the guaranteed
Yeah,
contract.
yeah, and that's a lot of it's a good amount of money. Like actually being on the floor, like actually get game time.
I don't think he'll get more than like 2 minutes of game time. Like
For the season?
no, like a game.
A game.
I'm talking like, hey, it's the last 30 seconds of the period. Go on in, Bronny, and then, add the 30 seconds up and that'll equal his
Do you
2
think
minutes.
do you think he starts on opening night?
No.
AD comes off the bench for Bronny, or LeBron comes off the bench
Yeah,
for
he will.
Bronny.
He'll be there though.
LeBron, we need
Well,
you
of
to be
course,
sixth man this
With the
year.
guaranteed deal, I don't really know what other option. There's no way you start the year in the G League on a guaranteed 3-year NBA contract.
Oh no, he won't be in the G League.
The number
No way.
one story will be Braun playing with his son, or
Huge
LeBron
story.
playing with Bronny. Like that's it, and they'll do it for the publicity, and they'll do it because they can say it's the first time ever that a son and a dad has played together on an NBA court together.
Right.
And then after that is done with, like, I don't know what's going to happen next, but I don't envision Bronny being like this big part of the Lakers this season. Do you? I don't
No
know.
chance.
No chance.
No chance.
I'm just wondering if after the initial wave of the media's Bronny fever goes away after the first week or two of the season, is it just going to kind of go away and he's just going to be like Giannis's brothers, where he's just on the end of the bench every day and they might just mention
No,
it?
because Bronny is way bigger than Giannis, his brother.
He just kind of resonates for whatever reason. He's been so topical over the last year.
He is
More topical than Giannis.
infinitely more, I guess, popular. I don't
Like
know.
his Q score. People
Yeah.
know who he is.
Right.
The name Bronny James resonates. I have no idea Giannis's brothers' names. Me
It's
personally.
Thanos and- Thanos, and I don't know what the other one's name is.
Yeah. Again, I think my wife knows who Bronny James is. I don't know if anyone knows who Thanos Antetokounmpo is. Other than
Bronny
in some
has,
Marvel
like,
movie.
10 million followers on Instagram or something like that.
All right, on the other side, we're giving away Def Leppard tickets to kick off hour 3 of Jon and Jim. That comes your way next. All right, hey guys, it's Schaefer. We have great news for homeowners. We really do. Mortgage rates tanking. My friends at Loan Pronto have rates to start with a 4. This is the best rate in years. Listen, if your current rate is over 6%, you can dump it and lower your house payment big time. Loan Pronto has locked in folks recently at 4.99% APR. Whether you got your loan last week or last month or even last year, it's time to call Loan Pronto. Even if you're in the process right now with another lender, stop now and call Loan Pronto. Ask about their zero-cost rate reduction home loan. You can lock in a lower rate with no closing costs in a matter of days with almost no paperwork and usually no appraisal. If you act now, you can even skip your next 2 house payments. Call now. Loan Pronto can give you a rate quote in minutes with no hard credit pull and no upfront fees like those other guys. 619-207-4336. That's 619-207-4336. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781. On approved credit, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
All right, this update is brought to you by Project Clean Water. Padres Cardinals, game 3 of their series underway in St. Louis. Good start for the Padres. They lead the Cardinals 2-0 heading to the bottom of the first inning there. In NFL news of the day, John Lynch, 49ers GM, said that he expected Brandon Ayuk to practice today for the 49ers, but Brandon Ayuk was a no-show, officially making this a holdout for Brandon Ayuk. Want to keep our waterways clean and beautiful? Harsh chemicals from car washing can flow into storm drains, harming our waterways. Choose eco-friendly car washes that properly dispose of the water from studs to shores. Wash your car wisely. Visit projectcleanwater.org for details and tips how to make a difference.
Getting you all set for that drive home. Let's just start the show. Here's Jon and Jim.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? Final hour of Jon and Jim, where we have not one, not two, but 3 great giveaways for you. We will give away Def Leppard tickets within the next 15 minutes. Do not go anywhere. Def Leppard and Journey. This is Friday night in 48 hours. Def Leppard, Journey, Steve Miller Band, Petco Park. Friday night, we have 2 free tickets. We'll give them away coming up shortly. Padres Cardinals underway. Did you mention in your update? I did not listen to one thing you said. I heard something about keep the water clean, which I agree with.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I heard maybe Ayuk.
Yeah.
And I don't recall hearing anything about the Padres, but I think it was in there.
You know me, right, John?
Yeah, I know you.
You're
married.
Why would I not mention the Padres?
Oh, I don't know. That's a good point. Okay, so you mentioned they lead 2-0.
Yes, I did.
All right, couple of first inning runs. Now, I think hopefully this isn't the kiss of death from AJ Cassavell. So AJ Cassavell tweets out 2 minutes ago, the Padres lead 2-0 in St. Louis. They haven't lost a game in which they've led at any point since August 2nd. They haven't lost a game in which they've led by 2 runs since June 18th. So that was AJ Cassavell 2 minutes ago. So we'll see if they can.
Sorry, I just watched an amazing play by Manny Machado. Anyway, they are 55-11 when they score first this year.
It's very good.
Amazing win percentage. They scored first tonight. They lead 2-0 heading to the second inning there. And frankly, there's no reason to think otherwise. I mean, yeah, it could be considered a jinx. And yeah, if it is, then AJ Cassavell's going to have to wear it. But
it's not worse than,
it's not worse than me saying, hey, Profar 7th.
That's what I was going to say. I didn't want to say it, though. Not today. I didn't want to say it.
Yeah. So, look, all in all, this team is on a roll right now. Everything that can go right does go right for them.
Yeah.
It feels like. And they're putting themselves in position to really make a run at this division. 1 week can change everything. We've talked about that. The Dodgers are playing the Orioles this week, and then they play the Diamondbacks this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Diamondbacks are playing the Mets right now. They play the Dodgers this weekend. Padres, they can take advantage of a Cardinals team that is not playing good baseball of late, and then go to Tampa and do something that the Diamondbacks couldn't do, which is win a game there, or I don't know, win a series there. I mean, dude, next Monday, well, we're not going to be here next Monday, but next Tuesday, things could look really different in favor of the Padres.
We could do a caller only show on Monday.
Let's do a caller only show.
Call in at 3, and you can have. There's 12 segments in our show. You can have your own segment.
Yes,
Just
I like
call
that.
in at 3.
Yes, and then we can make sure that
we'll get you on.
We'll get you on, and then if worse comes to shove, then we can have you chime in on the wrap up, or not the wrap up show, on Jon and Jim on YouTube, where we probably won't hear you there either.
I do like that. Tonight, to your point, Diamondbacks Mets at 6:40, Dodgers Orioles at 7:10. Def Leppard tickets in the next 10 minutes. Did you see this news earlier? You probably did because I tweeted.
Well, when
about
you say that, it could be anything. So I don't know.
Did you see it?
The news?
The news earlier is that the NIL tournament is officially official. The Players Era Festival that San Diego State is in. So listen to this. Thanksgiving week, Aztec fans, go to Vegas. Make this a home court environment. You've got the Tuesday and Wednesday before Thanksgiving, and then the Saturday after Thanksgiving. So San Diego State in this 8-team event. The venue's been set. It's the MGM Garden Arena. MGM Grand Garden Arena. Saturday of Thanksgiving week. Games are going to air on TNT, TBS, True TV, and Max. Almost like tournament. And this is the schedule for San Diego State. Tuesday, this is official. They're playing at 11 a.m. Pacific. San Diego State Creighton. Rematch of the Elite Eight game from 2 seasons ago. They've met in 2 of the last 3 NCAA tournaments. So San Diego State plays Creighton in Vegas. The next day, the Aztecs play Texas A&M, no Commerce. San Diego State, Texas A&M in Vegas, the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. This will be – no, excuse me, I'm wrong. I am wrong. They play Oregon on Wednesday at 1 o'clock Pacific. And Saturday, to finish up the 3 games, the NIL tournament, they'll play Texas A&M at 4 o'clock Pacific. So it's official, Jim. San Diego State in Vegas, NIL tournament, $1 million for the collective is what we're led to believe they will receive for playing in this event.
I love it.
Yeah.
It's a tournament that I feel like all schools and programs like want to be in.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not the big time schools like that. They don't really look at it like as something that they.
Well,
I mean,
are you saying because like a Kentucky already has the NIL resources?
I'm saying Kentucky, North Carolina.
You're saying they don't quote unquote need it because they have other means to come up with the collective money.
And like
sure,
$1 million to them is
still $1 million.
It's $1 million.
Your points. I understand your point. Kentucky and Kansas have more resources than other schools.
Yes,
but Alabama was in. Were they in the national championship or Final Four this year?
They were in the Final Four.
They lost to UConn in the Final Four?
Yeah, they got boat raced.
And then it was Purdue, right? Yeah. But I mean, Alabama's in the San Diego State was in the national championship 2 years ago. Creighton was in the Elite Eight 2 years ago.
It just shows by the teams that are in this.
Houston.
These are big time schools,
yep.
Big time programs that have won recently in a
high
big way. How many teams have made the Final Four in the last
That's a great question.
5 years in this tournament? Or at least Elite Eight.
I think it might. Elite Eight would be San Diego State, Creighton, Alabama. Has Houston made an Elite Eight? They've been so good.
I want to say.
And they lose in a lot of Sweet 16s. I think maybe they've had an Elite Eight in there.
At least the last 5 years, maybe.
They've had to. They've been so good. But also the other programs, Notre Dame, Rutgers, Texas A&M, Oregon. Has had a lot of success, obviously. Yep. So, no, your point's valid. And by the way, this 8-team event this year reportedly is going to 18 teams next year. And also reportedly, San Diego State will be in this not just this year, but each of the next 3 years.
Can you play in this tournament multiple years? Or is there like a okay?
Yeah, you can, because what they're going to do is, I don't know the particulars on it, but yes, they're going to make it where you can play in this event multiple years in a row, which typically you're unable to do in non-conference events. So if you're San Diego State, it's a huge win. To your point, I think schools are lining up to be in it.
I think so too. I think also winning in the tournament, making Sweet 16s helps your cause for sure, because they don't want to put in just like a bunch of random schools. They want to put schools in that have won, and then also programs that are in big time conferences as well. So San Diego State's recent success, going to a Final Four, going to a national championship game, going to a back-to-back Sweet 16s, having, these seasons where it's like you have National Player of the Year candidates and Jaden Ledee. You have a season where you win 30-plus games. You win Mountain West Conference titles. Like, you're the draw of the Mountain West. Then, I think these tournaments are wanting San Diego State in it because they're so successful.
And to do it in the West, I think some of these teams might not understand that you could be walking into like a home court environment for San Diego State.
True.
The SDSU has played so many games in Vegas over the years. They've had such a high winning percentage. They play in front of thousands during the Mountain West tournament, other non-conference events that they've won there. It is a home away from home for San Diego State. Now, this is a real challenge. I mean, you look at the Aztecs non-conference schedule. They play Gonzaga next year at Viejas. They will play, again, Creighton and Texas A&M, and I say Oregon. I mean, it's going to be a challenge. And, this is a younger team than the Aztecs typically have, but I cannot wait for that week. I think that week is going to be fantastic. We will have Aztecs, I think, is their season finale football is Air Force that weekend. Actually, we're going to have 2 games that day on Saturday. You'll have San Diego State basketball and you'll have San Diego State football. I don't know the timing as of yet on those, but it's going to be an amazing week. It's an amazing week. Thanksgiving week, Aztecs in Vegas, Aztec football going on, and $1 million for the Mesa Foundation, which is a wonderful thing for San Diego State.
Like I said, $1 million for us.
For us, and $1 million. And here's the thing: whoever wins this event, another $1 million. You get $1 million
That's the great part is like you're in the tournament, you get $1 million
just for being
just
in
for
it.
being in it.
But then you win 3 games. And again, they've won a lot in Vegas.
Yeah.
And I get it. It'll be hard. Like Houston and
it's
legitimate event.
And there's a lot of change with this Aztec roster, but
Yep.
it's exciting change. Like it's just, we had that conversation earlier this offseason. Like you're losing a lot of pieces. Like, well, yeah, that's what college athletics is about.
Mhm.
Guys don't stay here for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years. They leave.
Right.
And losing Jaden Ledee is big. You're losing 25 and 10 every single night. But that's the thing about college athletics. Like you just have to reload, retool every single year. And I think that's what Dutch has done this offseason and going out in the transfer portal and getting some guys that can really help this team win. And the guys they already have here, Bird and Magoo Guath, and you also have Reese Waters, who will be a starter this year. You pair them with the guys you got in the transfer portal, like it's going to be exciting because it's all new. Like I like new, and that's what the Aztecs basketball team is this year. A lot of new faces.
Yeah.
Do you think from a fan point of view, if they might lose interest if we get too much of the haves winning it opposed to the have-nots, to where the smaller programs where it would mean the world if they won this tournament and got all this NIL money?
Mm-hmm.
If Duke and Kentucky win it every year, is everyone gonna be like, oh, this is great, look at the 2 richest programs in college basketball, they keep getting more money and the little guy keeps getting
I think
nothing?
You know what? That's an interesting way to look at it. The way I'm going to look at it is like you're adding viewership when you start putting this into it. It's like if San Diego State ends up playing Texas A&M, and let's say that is like your NIL Players Era Festival champion. That to me becomes like way more compelling than a championship game of even like a Maui Invitational. Like not only is it a championship game of an event, you are truly playing winner of one game, $1 million, loser of one game, nothing. That to me is pretty compelling. And the truth is, Brent, there aren't any like quote unquote small programs in this. I mean, the only non-power quote unquote program would be San Diego State. And then you have all these power programs littered across the country. So I'm excited for it. This will be the first version of it. We'll see how it plays out this November in Las Vegas, Nevada. All right, call right now if you want tickets to see Def Leppard. Caller 4, you're going to see Def Leppard with Journey and Steve Miller Band. The Summer Stadium Tour this Friday at Petco Park. 2 free tickets to caller 4. All you need to do is call 877-767-4760. Caller 4, you're going. 877-767-4760. We'll give away Dan and Shay tickets coming up next. We have Jim's back page. 2 more giveaways for you this hour on Jon and Jim. Good morning, Dan and Shay. Tickets coming up in just moments. We've got tickets to see Dan and Shay, Whitcheck Owen, and Dylan Marlowe Friday, September 6th at the North Island Credit Union Amphitheater. For tickets and information, go to Ticketmaster.com. Within the next 10 minutes, we have Train with REO Speedwagon. We'll give those away this hour. We do have Jim's back page coming up as well. Now, Manny Machado, we've talked about this a lot recently. He's scorching hot, right? And he's making great defensive plays. And yesterday hit his 160th home run as a Padre. He's 3 away from tying the franchise record, 4 away from breaking it. This is going to happen maybe during the next homestand. I mean, the way he's played here, he's up to 22 home runs. He still could get to 30. Is there a prop bet here? Like, when is Manny Machado breaking this record?
This season. I don't know when.
It definitely this season.
Way to go out on a limb there.
Yeah.
The way he's playing, he's definitely doing it this season.
He has really showed you something this year that it was like kind of in the balance that he was even going to perform. Like, it just was like, hey, is this it?
Is this going to happen? Yeah.
Is this happening now? And he has shown me a lot with overcoming this injury. Like the Padres, actually not the Padres, but David Peralta put out this funny video today on Instagram. Go check it out. It's pretty funny. And Manny Machado's in it, and he has like some patches on his elbow.
Okay.
That he had the surgery on. And it just, to me, reminds me that every day this guy is getting treatment and work done on his elbow because it's still not fully healed and he's still not fully 100%, but yet he's going out there and he's playing at a level that is easily worth the $350 million that he's making right now.
He is now.
Well, not making right now, but his contract.
Yeah, no, he's playing great. And obviously he's feeling better as the time has kind of gone on here in 2024. I mean, at the end of the season, his numbers could look really good. Like, really good. If he gets to 30 home runs, it's an if, but the way he's played recently, it's not outside the realm. He's going to finish with an OPS, Jim, probably over 800. He's at 788 right now. He could finish well over 800. He could, again, be the franchise leader in home runs. He could lead this team maybe to a deep run. That's all that matters. The one thing Manny hasn't done, there's 2 things. Hasn't won a World Series, hasn't won the MVP. To me, I'll look the other way on the MVP. I don't even care. He'll have a Hall of Fame resume without the MVP. He'll have a Hall of Fame resume potentially without winning a World Series as well. But the one thing that should matter for Manny Machado, and I feel like this is the case, is winning the World Series. Everything else he's done. He's going to hit the home runs and have the 3,000 hits. He's done everything. Gold Gloves, All-Star game. You got to go win. I mean, the $350 million, like you said, he's going to be seen as one of the more important figures in Padres history regardless, but you win that World Series, man, that's the one piece missing for a player of Manny Machado's caliber.
And when you have a big contract like that, that's why they sign you. They sign you to a $350 million, 10+ year deal because they are doing this to win a World Series.
Mm-hmm.
They're not signing you just to say, we want you here. Like, they're signing you for a reason. The reason is we think that you can be the cornerstone, the leader of this team to go out and win a World Series. Like, that's the reason why you pay these guys the big bucks, because he's one of the best players out there in the game at third base when he's healthy, like, and playing like this, especially. And that's the whole point of these contracts, is to win a World Series. They're not signing Xander Bogaerts just to sign Xander Bogaerts. They're signing Xander Bogaerts because they think that he can help them win a World Series. So, yeah, you're Manny Machado, you win a World Series. You haven't accomplished everything that you want in your career, but the big one, like, that's like the umbrella over everything, you'll be able to check off that box, and it won't be hanging over your head potentially for your entire career that you went 20 years and you never never won a World Series. He's made a World Series with Dodgers, but never won a World Series, and you've gotten paid all this money and hasn't happened yet. And by the way, it happens for a lot of players in baseball. Baseball is the one sport where you're like, how many players didn't win a World Series?
It's hard, yeah.
So many Hall of Famers have never won a World Series.
It's not held against you.
No,
it's not like, and you
not
don't even
basketball.
and you don't get credit even for necessarily successes in postseason. It's like, I'm just saying for Manny Machado, when you put your head on your pillow at night, when you finish playing baseball, he'll have the hundreds of millions, and he'll have the 3,000 hits and the 500 home runs, and he'll probably have the plaque in Cooperstown. But he's going to need that ring. And by need, I mean that's yeah. I mean, whatever. Either way, he's going to be remembered as a great player. But to fully cement your legacy, especially here, do it with a championship. And is there ever going to be a better time than now? Is there ever going to be a better time? 32 years of age, this team, the way they're playing.
This is your prime. This is it. You have a damn good baseball team right now, probably the best you've been on since you've been here. If you want to argue 2022, go for it. But I think this team, you can argue is better than 2022.
He is scorching hot. I mean, absolutely. He's like the temperature in St. Louis. Every time he's in the batter's box, he finds his way on base. Every single time.
Another double?
Yeah, he just ripped a double. His OPS will be 800 tonight. It's 792. He's a home run away from an 800 OPS this year.
Yeah, he is doing it defensively. He's doing it offensively. It's all clicking for him right now.
It really is.
And as he goes, the team goes. It's no coincidence that you look at the stretch of games here of the last 2 months, Manny's putting together like MVP-ish numbers, and they're the best team in baseball, or one of the best teams in baseball. It's no coincidence. Guarantee you, if Manny Machado was hitting 210 over his last 50 games, they are not where they are at right now.
Completely agree. Completely agree. All right, call right now. Caller 1. First caller is going to win Dan and Shay tickets with Jake Owen and Dylan Marlowe. Friday, September 6th at the North Island Credit Union Amphitheater. For tickets and information, go to Ticketmaster.com. First caller to 877-767-4760. You've got 2 free tickets to see Dan and Shay Friday, September 6th. 877-767-4760. Call right now. First caller to 877-767-4760. We'll give away tickets to see Train with the REO Speedwagon. Coming up next, we have Jim's back page. Stay with us on Jon and Jim.
This update's brought to you by Mattress Firm. Padres Cardinals, game 3 of their 4-game series underway right now in St. Louis. Padres lead the Cardinals 2-0 top of the 3rd inning there. And NFL news of the day, Brandon Ayuk was a no-show at 49ers practice, even though John Lynch said today that he expected him to practice today. Same thing for Jamar Chase. He showed up, but he did not practice for the Bengals. It's Mattress Firm's best sale of the year. Get a Sleepy Queen mattress at the lowest price ever, just $89.99. Offer ends Tuesday, in-store pickup only. Hurry and stop by Mattress Firm during their Labor Day sale.
Hi, Jon Jim back with you. We've got their tickets to see Train with Dario Speedwagon. We'll give those away within the next 10 minutes. We started the show by picking up where we left off last night of the wrap-up show. When things are going good, you end up down rabbit holes. Like, what would the lineup look like now when Fernando Tatis Jr. returns, which could be within the next handful of days, if not certainly within the next, hopefully, week or two? And we started the show by talking about how last night you just kind of theorized, you threw out a line of like, well, what about Profar in the 7 hole? And people legitimately lost their minds. But someone in this lineup that has really produced is going to hit 7th when Fernando Tatis Jr. does return, whether it's a Jackson Merrill or Jay Cronenworth or Jurickson Profar.
Nope, they're just going to not have anybody at 7th.
1 through 6, 8, 9, 10.
Exactly. Yeah, they're just
First time in history.
Have you ever been? You've been in a hotel without a 13th floor, right?
Yeah, because it's
Most floors, most of them claim they don't have a 13th,
But
but they don't acknowledge it.
Yeah, but here's the thing: if you go from 12 to 14, the 14th floor is what?
the 13th floor.
Exactly.
Semantics, John.
Yeah.
Anyway,
You caused a controversy.
I did.
Jim.
Everybody freaked out. Everyone thought that I was an idiot. Everyone thought that I didn't know baseball.
Isn't this a problem you'd like to have, though, for all the problems that they have? Are we going to have
Sure.
enough starting pitching, or what? The bullpen hitting. Who are we going to put down at 7? Because we have so many good hitters that we need to put somebody down at 7 that we don't think anybody deserves to be knocked down, with maybe 2 exceptions. Maybe Cronin or some other guys could be not sent down, but moved down in the lineup. But if of all the problems they have, this is a good problem, right?
What's your lineup?
Yeah, I know. It's absolutely. Again,
What's your lineup?
it's my lineup.
Come on, give me your lineup.
I don't
Skip
even-
right to 7th.
Yeah, who's in 7th in your lineup?
Okay, my lineup for the Padres
When Tatis gets back.
when Tatis gets back, I love this, is Arise, Tatis, Profar, Machado, Bogarts, Cronenworth, Merrill,
You're batting Merrill 7th, you idiot.
Higgy, Kim.
You're a moron.
Merrill hit 7th anyway. It's 6th.
Right.
So yeah, that's just moving everyone down basically, as opposed to taking, like, I'll give you the reason why I'm doing it. Profar tonight's batting 2nd. It's going from 2nd to 7th.
If you really want, okay, here's my revised lineup. Because
Right.
you can change your opinion, and everyone has a right to do that. Arise leading off, Tatis hitting 2nd,
Mm-hmm.
Profar hitting 3rd, Manny hitting 4th, Bogey hitting 5th.
This is my lineup.
No,
Ronnie?
actually, hold on. That is your lineup.
Yeah,
Let me change
it
it.
is.
Let me change it up. I'm going to change this right now.
Okay.
Arise hitting leadoff,
Mm-hmm.
Tatis hitting 2nd, Cronenworth hitting 3rd, Manny hitting 4th, Profar hitting 5th,
Okay.
Bogarts
Bogey.
hitting 6th, Merrill hitting 7th, Higgy hitting 8th, Kimmy hitting 9th.
Merrill hitting 7th.
Yeah.
The thing is, you can't put Bogart 7th.
No.
It's not happening.
No. And I think you split up lefty righty there.
Yeah, that's
with
true.
Profar because he's a switch.
That's a
and,
consideration.
and you can have him there. It's all about the matchups too. I think if
against a left,
there's a-
Cronenworth's all the way down.
yeah, if a lefty's on the mound, Cronenworth 100% is hitting 7th or 8th.
He'll hit 7th.
If there's a righty on the mound, more often than not, he's going to be hitting 3rd because that's where he's hit all year when the righty's on the mound.
Right.
It hasn't changed. So with that, I think Profar will move from the 2 spot, and if you just put him in between Manny and Bogarts, it's a nice break up there, and you have if a righty's on the mound, it goes right, left, right, left.
See, I do like that. I think that's important. I'm thinking more about that in October than I am when he returns in.
You have so you got a lefty with Arise, you got a righty with Tatis, you got a lefty with Cronenworth, you got a righty with Manny, you got a lefty or righty with Profar, righty with Bogey, lefty with Jackson, righty with Higgy, and then righty with Kimmy.
I love that.
I think that's the lineup.
I love that. Yeah, I think that's probably accurate. I'm really not opposed, honestly, to Cronenworth being moved down just because he's hit third isn't enough.
Like do you envision with the mindset of lefty, righty, you switch Cronenworth and Profar and hit Cronenworth fifth and Profar third? Or just say no?
I think Profar, even when Tatis returns, is going to hit top 3 in the lineup.
Really?
I do. Okay. Yeah, I do. I just think he's done most of his work there this year. I just think it would be a little bit surprising if he goes from the 2-hole to the 6-hole or the 3-hole to the 7-hole in the lineup. So I still think he's going to bat maybe second or third in the lineup. And then, I mean, what's Tatis going to look like? Is he going to produce? It's a long time without playing. You know, we said that with Musgrove as a pitcher, and he's pitched really well. Tatis has just missed so much time so often that is he going to produce? Like, if you're going to hit in that 2-hole, and this lineup's been working, and you're not going to hit the way that I just don't know. I don't even know what my expectations are. I asked yesterday, calculated 850 OPS. Probably not.
But what if he is?
Right. That'd be nice. Yeah, that'd be nice if he is.
If anything, he is much more of a threat. And David Peralta's been great for his team. He is much more of a threat than any option they have right now in right field. So 100% he's going to be out there.
Plug him in the second.
And you're not hitting him lower than third. Like, you're just not hitting fifth, sixth, seventh. It's not happening. He will be put back into the 2 spot. And if I'm looking at lineups earlier in the year, John, that's where
he was hitting.
That's where he was hitting. So, like, I'm going to schedule here on a day that they were all playing together. Let's say June 2nd, maybe. They weren't all playing that day. See a game where they literally all written together. Looking at the tournament. But can't find one because there's like parts of the season they weren't. Let's go to the game in Philadelphia. No, that's not either.
What's the point of making what the lineup was when he was there and the team was healthy?
Yes, what the lineup was when Tatis was there.
Well, I know what it is with Tatis.
And he was there.
I know what it is with Tatis. He's only batted second all of the year. There hasn't been one game he batted anywhere else. 79 games, second base. So
Second lineup.
I'm sorry, not second base. Good point. Second in the lineup in 79 games. He may have pinch hit somewhere along the way, but 79 games he's had made 21 OPS batting second. Right. Yeah, no, it's true. I mean, well, they didn't get a rise until a certain point. Their rise was out for a little bit too, dealing with that thumb. So that full line, and Bogarts has been out. So the full lineup has not been a lot of games.
Has not. It's hard. You're hard pressed to find where this team
was healthy.
Had everybody in the lineup. It was healthy.
Maybe late May, or when Arise got here in the middle of May. Bogarts still healthy? Go back to May. Bogarts is healthy. Arise was here.
Here we go. All right. Yeah, here we go.
Yeah. May
probably. This was not May. Yeah, it was May, actually. You're right. It was in Atlanta.
Okay.
All right.
I remember that series.
That was the series that was the series that Bogarts got hurt in.
Yep. Could have swept that series.
Here is the lineup. Luis Arise leading off.
Yeah. Toddy.
Toddy hitting second. Profar hitting third.
Yep.
Cronenworth hitting fourth.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Manny hitting fifth. Bogarts hitting sixth. Merrill seventh. Kim eighth. Higgy ninth.
I'm not playing that game with the way Manny's swinging.
No.
No way.
Yeah, you move.
You moved everyone else for Manny.
So you miss fifth. and then you put Cronenworth really down.
Yeah,
But then you're not getting
Cronenworth's-
that left and right, right.
which is a consideration. Yep. No, you're right. Manny's not hitting fifth. Anyway, I mean, Manny's red hot. He's not hitting fifth. Everything else is negotiable. I say that. I don't even think it is. Arise will lead off and Tatis will second. It's not all negotiable.
I think the only spots in the lineup right now that are locked in, never changing. Luis Rise hitting leadoff. When Tatis gets back, he'll hit second. And Manny Machado hit fourth.
And then from the Cronenworth, so far, Bogarts, Merrill.
That's all.
Figure that out.
Figure that one out. And there you go. But
Yeah.
Everything. And then when Hassan Kim gets back, he's hitting ninth.
Yeah.
Or even Higgy.
Catcher's A.
It could be Higgy ninth or Higgy eighth.
That's
or,
fine.
I mean, not eighth
That's
or
fine.
ninth. But there's 3 spots in this lineup that are locked in rest of the season once they're all healthy, not changing. Arise leading off, Tatis hitting second, Manny hitting fourth.
Yeah,
Clean it up.
we did the deductive research to know that I'd be really surprised that with everything we know, the way this team is playing, they completely say, you know what? Now's the time to completely change everything.
Yeah, Manny, you're going to hit second now.
Yeah, exactly. And Toddy, you're not going to lead off. And Arise, you're going to hit third. That would be utterly shocking to me.
Yeah.
And also, it would also be shocking to me if they're moving Merrill up in the lineup, considering he is in where he's been basically all year long.
I'm not begging because I don't think they will. But I'm just saying, don't do that.
Yeah, I agree.
And I know there's a lot of people out there that want to see Merrill move up in the lineup because he's been amazing. But he's been amazing where he's at all year long.
Mhm.
So you keep him there. You don't
If it ain't
change
broke. If it ain't broke. All right, we have Jim's back page coming up, but right now, caller 3, you have 2 free tickets to see Train with Oreo Speedwagon Tuesday, September 10th at the North Island Credit Union Amphitheater. For tickets and info, go to Ticketmaster.com. Caller 3 to 877-767-4760. You have 2 free tickets to see Train with Oreo Speedwagon. Again, Tuesday, September 10th, North Island Credit Union Amphitheater. Again, caller 3, call right now. The number to call is 877-767-4760. On the other side, an update from St. Louis, where the Padres and Cardinals are underway in Game 3. Padres trying to win a series in St. Louis for the first time since 2019. Also, on the other side, Jim's getting ready for it. We'll have Jim's back page for you. It comes your way next. All right, join us tomorrow. Chris Hodge, free college week 1 picks for our listeners. TakingVegas.com is great. For our listeners, will join us tomorrow in the 4 o'clock hour. Chris Hodge. We'll also wrap up the Padres Cardinals series because game 4 of the series starts around 11 a.m. Pacific tomorrow.
11:15, John, to be exact.
All right, so when we're on the air at 3, that'll be 3 hours and 45 minutes later. We'll hear from Mike Schilt. Padres going for a series win today. We'll see if they can grab that. They do lead the Cardinals right now in St. Louis 2-0 in the 4th inning behind Joe Musgrove. So again, Chris Hodge joins us tomorrow. Also tomorrow, more Aztec tickets to give away. So Aztecs Saturday right here on San Diego Sports 760, 5 o'clock start time. We've been talking about it. You can hear it right here on San Diego Sports 760. We'll give away another pair of tickets tomorrow right here on Jon and Jim. All right, let's get to this. What have we missed?
Have you ever been to Disneyland, John? Like Disneyland?
What if I told you no? Never in my life. Knott's Berry Farms?
I haven't been. I've been to World, not Land.
Yeah, I've been to World. I know that they have like the Disney characters and everything there.
Have you ever been on Space Mountain at Disney World?
They don't have Space Mountain in Disney World, I don't think.
Yeah, they absolutely do.
Oh, do they?
That was how could you say that?
They do.
Space Mountain?
Space Mountain's like
Oh,
everywhere.
In the dark?
Yeah, well, I know what it is. I didn't think I thought that was a California only thing.
No, what
But no, I
California
didn't go on
only
that.
is
They have like a ride called California Only.
No, the Matterhorn?
Matterhorn, maybe. Yeah.
Matterhorn, I think, is a California ride.
Anyway,
Yeah.
if you want a Space Mountain vehicle from the actual Space Mountain ride, it's going up at a Disney auction.
Oh, really?
The minimum bid's $10,000.
Really?
Dude, yeah.
Dude.
Like, no, I'm good.
Oh, come on. I totally want to pay 10 grand for a seat that I'll barely fit in.
Do you have a picture of like what you're just that's 10 grand?
It looks like the Fantastic Four, like,
Yeah.
ship.
That's kind of, I don't know. It's kind of cool.
Like, doesn't that look like the Fantastic Four ship, Brent?
Oh, the fantastic car. Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic car. $10,000 for that. I mean, you have to be like a die-hard Disney fan
I think there's a lot of diehard Disney fans.
for that one.
Yeah.
Well, there
Of course,
are.
there's. You see all those AVP bumper stickers everywhere.
I know
Yeah.
people that
It's for Disney Annual Pass. I always think it
Yeah.
stands for Alien versus
Yeah.
Predator. But
there's people out there that are literally so hardcore when it comes to Disneyland that they go like every weekend. Like every weekend they're at Disneyland.
Are people more hardcore, would you say, Star Wars or more hardcore Disney
Star Wars.
parks?
Star Wars.
Star Wars.
There's way more Star Wars fans out there than just
Than
plain
Disney park
park
fans?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I would ask you if you like bacon, John, but we know you don't.
Well, no, just because I don't eat bacon doesn't mean I don't like bacon. See what I'm
How
saying?
does that work?
Well, it's like philosophically, I don't eat meat.
Okay.
Doesn't mean I don't like meat. Like I think it's good. Like steak is tasty.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah, I
But
don't
not
like
that
bacon.
tasty.
The bacon brand Hormel
Yes, that's correct.
is, quote, bringing home the bacon with a delicious twist. It was revealed this week that the bacon company is coming out with a new bacon flavor, Cinnamon Toast Crunch Bacon.
That sounds good.
It says that in a social media post, this is not a drill, that Cinnamon Toast Crunch Bacon is about to be a real thing. Coming home soon is a new Hormel Black Label Bacon featuring the Cinnamon Toast Crunch Cinnadust to give it that amazing salty and sweet flavor. The post says that it will be coming soon to a store near you.
I think that sounds actually good. Can I explain why? Because don't some people like bacon? Like, isn't there like a sweet, salty element to bacon a little bit?
A little bit.
Like a little bit.
Like candied bacon is delicious. Have you ever had that? Well, you
They're
have.
not really, no.
I just don't mind it because they go together. You know, you might have bacon with your cereal for breakfast, so it's not like it's two food items that are never on the table together.
Mm.
Bacon and eggs to me. Bacon, eggs, toast, a little avocado. Oh my God, so good.
You love bacon.
I do. Bacon's
I mean,
great.
99% of Americans love bacon.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't like bacon,
Yeah, I know. I think I like bacon. I just don't eat meat.
I know. So that's a
You know?
problem.
So it's a problem. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, Cinnamon Toast Crunch Bacon coming to a store near you. LeBron's The Chosen One jersey that he wore for the SI cover is going back out on auction, John. The estimated price for this jersey is $2 million.
What? $2 million.
That's a very, very famous jersey. To have the Chosen One jersey, the jersey he wore for his SI cover shoot, dude.
I agree with that, but I would say it'd be worth more if SI was SI.
That's true.
It's like SI, it was great in its era, and now like SI doesn't even exist. So to me, it's like a product of a different generation.
It's like a relic.
Yeah, it's a relic, which maybe makes it more valuable.
It'd be worth more if Bronny wore it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And finally, John, peanut butter M&Ms are going to happen as early as 2025.
They already exist.
They already exist.
Oh, they do?
Yeah,
They've existed for years.
like 25 at least. What's the story here? There's got to be something in there.
It just says peanut butter M&Ms are going to happen. These just got announced ahead of the upcoming NACS show and should be in stores in early 2025. They start with the peanut butter M&Ms and they add a jelly taste.
Oh, because these are peanut butter and jelly M&Ms.
Oh,
yeah, that's the difference. They already have
come
peanut
on,
butter. They
Jim.
just don't have peanut butter and jelly.
I should have added that they're adding the jelly part to it.
Okay,
peanut butter.
Now,
and jelly.
now they're new then.
Peanut butter and jelly.
Now that's kind of groundbreaking.
That's what I thought I said, and I misspoke. It's peanut butter and jelly.
But
M&Ms.
that I like.
Yeah, because it says peanut butter M&Ms came out in certain variations since 1989.
Because the post here says peanut butter M&Ms are going to happen,
right?
And I'm thinking, okay, peanut butter jelly, but it doesn't say that. I just pulled
peanut butter jelly time.
I pulled the I pulled the teleprompter read where you just read whatever's on the teleprompter.
Yeah, you pull the burgundy
and you don't think about it.
Right.
I'm Jim Russell.
Yeah,
it's not really your first time.
I'm a dumbass.
Peanut butter and jelly M&Ms.
See, that sounds good. The only thing I would be worried about is sometimes when you have like jelly candies, the jelly will just turn into like this chewy, like
I don't like that. I know exactly what you're talking about.
I just don't want anything to do with that. If it stays like in the gel form, awesome.
Right.
But if it turns into that gelatinous, no.
Well, here's the other point. Peanut M&Ms are the enlarged M&Ms, but these will be normal M&M size
with the jelly in it.
Right. It's like peanut butter flavor and jelly flavor. It's not a peanut M&M with jelly.
Well,
it's peanut butter and jelly.
The peanut butter ones are bigger though. They're not like they're not the same size as the plain ones. They're the same size as the peanuts.
They're bigger.
They're way bigger.
Yeah.
Because the peanuts in there.
Peanut M&Ms are goated, right?
Oh, so good.
They're
peanut butter M&M or Reese's peanut butter cups.
Oh, but the crunchy saltiness
of the peanut butter and the peanut M&Ms. You always go with the peanut. Who wants a plain M&M?
Once you have a peanut M&M,
we'll never go back. I agree.
I like the coffee ones too.
All right. Tomorrow, Chris Hodge taking Vegas. Free college football week 1 picks will join us at the 4 o'clock hour. We have Aztec tickets to give away tomorrow as well. For Saturday at Snapdragon Stadium, we'll recap the Padres Cardinals series as they'll wrap up the series tomorrow morning. You'll hear from Mike Schild on Jon and Jim tomorrow as well. If you missed anything today, sportssd.com, iHeartRadio app, iTunes, TuneIn Radio, Spotify. If you're listening to us on podcast, please leave a review. Please subscribe as well. Find us on social media at Jon and Jim, JONANDJIM. We're back tomorrow at 3 for Brent and Jim. I'm John. Keep it here at San Diego Sports 760.
Peace out, bye.